Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, episode 163. Yes, the history of Chris Kanyon as well as Blood and Guts 2022. So I just because, you know.
I don't know, there was already Blood and Guts this year, wasn't there?
No, that was last year.
Oh, that was last year. Okay.
So if you research it or you type it in later, like, I really want to know what a bunch of fucking people on the internet said about Blood and Guts.
June 29th.
But I really want to know the 2022 version.
Yeah.
We got you covered.
We're not talking about Chris Jericho getting thrown on the cardboard this time.
Yeah. And we're talking about Sammy Guevara getting thrown in the cardboard.
They painted the cardboard.
No, they just let the black cloth over.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah, it was a good move.
I was fine with that because I got nervous that whole time they were up there. I'm like, don't break, don't fall. I didn't look when they were doing the swing.
Yeah, a lot of people got crazy with that.
Pretty sturdy though.
It did, but
the cage is also too high. It doesn't have to be that high. Like, take it down some, because no one's jumping that crazy 10 feet in the air.
It's the same height as their steel cage, because that's the height that Ray Phoenix jumped off.
Yeah, but they can lower that because you don't have to technically climb to the top and over it. So lower it. And that way it doesn't have to be so high. So then when people go up top, which you really shouldn't do, why would you go up top anyway? And it's not as high.
Yeah, I feel like the point of cages is to contain people.
Yeah, and especially if there's a roof, it doesn't have to be real high.
Yeah, I know.
What's the roof?
Hey,
if there's a roof, I can't reach it. Well, then why have it?
If you want to make your Blood and Guts the real, authentic, spiritual successor to War Games, you don't need to get outside the cage. You don't need to bring weapons into the cage. Stay in and just fight. Yeah. If you want to be War Game, if you want to be the real War Games, even though you don't get to use the name, keep it in the ring and no weapons.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can do the tape fist gimmick.
Yeah.
The foreign object.
Tape your fist up. Put your jeans on, your cowboy boots, your knee pads over the jeans.
And tie
handkerchief hanging out of the back pocket.
Kind of less is more.
Well, we will cover,
and the roof is literally right here.
And I'm saying, listen, the match was phenomenal.
Yeah, we'll cover all this in a little bit here. But let's get into our weekly This Week in Wrestling. But first, make sure you go check out the IWEP Network, iwepnetwork.com. Check out the rest of our amazing podcasts on there. We do have a Patreon. If you want to support us and help us out, that'd be great. Sorry, it was really loud. You can help us out with the Patreon, or you can grab some merchandise. We are on the quest to raise a little. I'm personally raising it, but maybe a couple T-shirts if sold, it would help me out. Looking to get a GoPro because we have some really cool ideas of some stuff we're going to do, and interviews at shows, and a GoPro would be very convenient to do so.
My friend bought a shirt and a mug.
Oh, that was them. I've seen that, the mug and the shirt. Hope they enjoy it. Well, if you do buy anything, take a photo of what you bought and send it to us. You drinking out of your mug or wearing your T-shirt, or drinking out of your shirt and wearing the mug, whatever works.
Yeah, could share it on Instagram. Could stitch a video on TikTok as well.
Yeah. We want to see you guys
wear the mug somehow. Let me know how you're wearing that mug.
Oh, you don't want to know. I'm thinking of one thing that could theoretically fit into a mug.
Oh my god, I walked into a mud hole there.
Unless it's like taped on like a yarmulke.
You're gonna have a small
that's
hand.
what I was thinking. I was thinking somebody
or like a fez.
Or you're making tea.
I did not think the other way around.
Tea bags.
Very handy to make tea. Yeah.
But yeah, we do have all that. You can help us out. That'd be great. Or you can, if you can't monetarily support, we have, like I said, with the tips or anything like that. Share this content. Share it out. Subscribe. If you're listening to this audio, leave a review. Reviews help us out a lot in the algorithms. Take a snapshot of your phone, like a screenshot of you listening, and say, hey, listen to this week's episode. And then you can kind of leave and then when you go through your camera gallery, like, oh, I listened to that, and just post and be like, hey, I thought the episode was good, or I thought the episode sucked, or whatever it may be.
I have a very specific review I want somebody to leave about this specific episode.
Okay.
Who better than Tornado Tag Podcast?
There it is.
Nobody. That's all I gotta say.
Not many psychos have stayed weekly as long as we have.
Outside of the big people.
Yeah.
Even Bruce ain't doing it every week, especially now.
Yeah, we're killing it. But what do we got this week in wrestling?
A lot. Some of it is tied to Blood and Guts. The first thing, I think the big news of the week, Claudio Castagnoli debuts for AEW, joins the Blackpool Combat Club. He is the successor to Bryan Danielson, or not successor, but the replacement for Bryan Danielson. I don't think anybody was really upset about it.
No. As soon as his music hit at that pay-per-view, do you want to go through the pay-per-view a little bit too?
Yeah, we can run it down.
As soon as his music hit, I was on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Does he have a shirt out?
Yes. Oh, immediately.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's the fist, and then it's like the Swedish thing, and it has like the plus on like the knuckle, and then it says Claudio, and then it says combat.
Because I seen on his jacket he has the dragon
when his
from Street Fighter,
when his music hits in that big image there. that image.
Yeah.
That's on the shirt.
Oh, okay.
He'll probably be the
I'll
next
look.
Street Fighter shirt on Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
Tees.
Yeah. And then I also ordered the FTR 7-star shirt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'd
that
like-
was nice. I
I'd like
like
that to
that.
come in the pro wrestling box. An FTR shirt and a Claudio shirt.
Yeah.
They get it for $20.
Yeah.
I
So
thought his gear was awesome too.
yeah.
Yeah.
New gear.
Pants
I liked
now.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he used to wear pants back in the day.
Yeah.
And
I
then he
just think
switched
it
to-
was a hell of a debut. Just like the
Mhm.
moment of the music hitting, him not really doing anything, letting
Yeah.
the crowd speak for it, and then as soon as the bell rings,
Just
Yeah.
kick the shit out of everybody.
Didn't get to
magic.
see a second on the pay per view, unfortunately. If I
Oh,
don't see
really?
it live, how am I going to watch it? So
I'll let you use my fucking
Yeah.
account.
Yeah.
I watched when I tuned in when I got back from Sanctuary, it was the Thunder Rosa Tony Storm
Okay.
match.
everybody, nothing but good I've heard
Mhm.
about the
Yeah, it was a good pay per view. And then I had
She
to go.
looked like she came out in her like the Mayan headdress and everything too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Good.
she had the color contact in,
Mhm.
but it was a good match. I was kind of hoping it would be Tony time, but but we'll go through the card.
Yeah, well, starting with the buy-in, you had the Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and Yoshihashi defeating Aaron Solo and QT Marshall.
That's the one I would skip. I don't want to buy into that. I like Goto.
Yeah, aren't they wrestling the Bucks on Rampage?
Yeah, on Rampage.
I
Yeah.
believe So yeah, I'm trying to find a better. This one is a little vague. On,
Yoshihashi has had a turnaround in the recent year.
Has he?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, he ain't Okada. You know, like he's had a turnaround from where he was there.
Matthew in the chat says first time listener, and I love it.
Well, thanks, man.
are
Matt
you a
is
long time caller?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt is actually an employee. He's my boss. That's my boss right there.
Oh wow.
He's one of the brains behind Shore Star Wrestling, which I got the
Oh, okay.
commentary for.
I was thinking you got a new job and
Well, yeah, and an independent team I did. Yeah.
okay.
If you guys want to check out Shore Star Wrestling, I believe he can
post a link.
well, no, it will be debuting tomorrow. Fingers crossed on IWTV.
Okay,
So if you want to check it out,
that's cool.
main event, very very good. HC Loke versus Vinny.
Pacifico.
No, his last name.
I'm
You
sure.
really should have had that before you gave them.
I'm sure Matt will.
No, even
put in the chat.
when I on comment, it was
And the name of the event, I believe, it was Monsoon. correct?
Monsoon. Yeah,
Will you stop?
Yeah,
yeah. It was. I think there was one of those thrown in there on commentary.
You have to.
like that.
You have
External peripheral.
I cannot
External
shake this
occipital protuberance.
Yeah, I could never say that. Okay, Matsoon.
Oh, Vinny. Senzo.
Okay.
CNZO. Yeah. Chenzo. Thank you. It was good. It was really good.
Would you say that the electricity in the building was so thick you could cut it with a knife?
Yeah.
The
The crowd.
electricity.
So this place.
Were there any matches where the irresistible force met the immovable object?
Yes.
Okay.
Right in a bread basket.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah. Everest versus Philly Mike.
Okay. Did Everest give Philly Mike a negative attitude?
Yeah.
Yes.
These are all
Okay.
monsoon lines.
Anything else?
Oh yeah, I can do this all night.
This area down by Wildwood, they haven't had professional wrestling in a very long time.
Did
So-
anyone threaten you to have you thrown out of there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Pete a few times.
No, I don't blame him.
But yeah, so this area didn't have any pro
And
wrestling.
it was
in
down.
for
What
a
was
while.
the town name?
Rio
Do you
Grande.
remember?
Rio Grande.
Okay.
Yeah.
In New Jersey for those.
Yeah.
people
It was right by Wildwood.
Very South Jersey. Very South
About as
Jersey.
south as you can get without falling in water.
Southern, the
Yeah.
deep south. Remember little Nicky?
But yeah, so but the crowd was hot. They loved it. It was the main event kind of went all over the building, and the crowd like got out of their seats and followed it like a high school
nice.
street fight.
What was the building that it was in? Like,
it's
was
a
it
it's a boxing
club.
facility.
Oh,
So
wow, that's
the
cool.
locker room for the boys was like a gym with a boxing ring,
Yeah.
and then the other side just this giant auditorium.
Oh, wow,
Yeah, it was really fun.
that's cool. That's better than like, we were at the VFW. You know,
Yeah.
And you had a double shot of your own because we were all of us were at the sanctuary on Sunday. Had a great
Mhm.
time.
On very little sleep.
I
Yeah.
yeah, for
I
you.
was-
The rest of us slept.
Yeah, I had a pretty nice sleep the night before.
Yeah, I was beat, but it was worth it. I had a great time. Yeah, I can't wait to go back. They already announced Meanie's going to be a name there for the next one.
What do you know the date offhand?
It's
September 3rd, Labor Day
September-
weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day
Okay,
weekend.
September
September 3rd.
that
First
is-
Saturday in September.
That is historically kind of the end of the season for the Jersey Shore. Peak season for the Jersey Shore runs Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Oh,
That is
okay.
kind of the end of Jersey Shore time.
Mhm.
If anyone wants to come for a car ride and hang out, come on and hang out. Go down to the Jersey Shore with me. You can see the Pine Barrens. We can go Jersey Devil hunt.
That's a little out of the way.
Pine Barrens.
Yeah.
It's like the Pine Barrens go all down that way. Like when we were driving
yeah.
to Pine Barrens
If
Forest.
you go a certain way, you can go
Okay.
through them. I went through them once or twice going to Cape May.
He's saying a fatal 4-way for the No Limits title, not
Yeah,
the PW.
They crowned the new title there. I don't want to give too much away because I want people to watch it. But yeah,
sign up for
Hey,
IWTV and watch it.
if he's
Yeah,
giving
no,
this, he's
there
the boss. So.
there was a No Limits title. But yeah, it was an exciting match as well. Leo Sparrow was in that one.
He is the Earth champion as well.
Yeah, he beat some fat dude on the side of the road for it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say
No,
on the
it-
show. I was like, Jesus
It was
Christ.
me. I took a knee. I'm on the internet getting beat up by Leo Sparrow. CJ Smith, what's up, everybody? How's it going tonight? He's a TikToker there that comes and hangs out with us. What else we got here? Rhett Titus and Lance Onahi.
Anawahi.
I was
Anawahi.
just gonna
Sorry.
say, we'll teach you how to pronounce that name.
Yeah.
Especially around here.
And stay away from the Pine Barrens. Now we're going straight in.
Red Titus, an ROH mainstay.
Yeah.
Former tag team champion.
He was on the last pay-per-view where he lost the TV
yeah.
title to Suzuki.
Mhm.
Yeah. But all right, well, let's get into this week in news.
So Lance Archer at Forbidden Door defeated Nick Camarado on the buy-in. You had Swerve and Keith Lee defeating El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru.
Mhm.
You also had the Gun Club with Billy and Max Caster defeating Yuya Uemura, Alex Coughlin, the DKC, and Kevin Knight, who are the LA Dojo guys.
Yeah.
And then the pay-per-view proper.
I want that on a T-shirt.
They probably have it.
No,
What?
I want Scissor Me Daddy Ass on a T-shirt.
Well, it's going to be tough because they broke up.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
we-
the ass boys.
we'll get
You-
there.
you'll
They
get a-
broke up,
you'll
but
get a
not.
Scissor Me
we're not gonna do a
shirt.
full recap of Dynamite. This show's going to be 6 hours long.
But
if we do a full recap of
Daddy Ass is still somewhat aligned
Yeah.
with the Acclaim.
for now.
Well, what do you think's going to happen in the storyline?
What I think's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I think
It's a swerve brawl.
well, eventually, but I think what's gonna happen is you're gonna have Billy with Acclaim, and then I think the Ass Boys are gonna get a stand-in manager that can talk really well, that knows Billy Gunn very well.
I didn't know.
Oh,
Road
I
Dogg.
didn't
I
know.
don't know if they'll hire him. Maybe. Depends.
I think they'll bring him in and
What
just
if-
kind of do a little spot where it's Road Dogg on one side and Billy on the other.
I might.
Bro, Billy Gunn on a pole.
Yeah.
Battle for
They
the
should get
ass.
Chuck Palumbo.
Daddy Ass in a pole match.
Daddy ass.
Should get Bart.
But yeah.
Yeah, get Bart Gun.
They bring back all Billy Gunn's
Yeah.
rivals
And
Yeah.
partner.
and tag partners.
What's
They
going
already
on,
have
Mick?
one. They already have Big Show. They were the Shoguns.
Yeah, and then you get
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd have to be. He can still be honky.
But all right, yeah.
On to the pay-per-view proper, where Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Minoru Suzuki defeated Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino to give the Jericho Appreciation Society the man advantage, the coin toss essentially for the blood and guts match.
Always give the advantage to the heels to start.
That's
It
you book it.
usually always is.
This is why
Except for like one time.
yeah, the Russo War Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Bro, what if we didn't do it that time?
What if the baby faces have the unfair advantage?
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, well then.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would the baby faces need to cheat?
Or that one time when there was 3 teams with the NWO
Yeah.
and that wasn't good.
It was the NWO, WCW, and the One Warrior Nation.
Yeah.
Yikes.
This was a fun opener.
Yeah,
It just
yeah.
like
Yeah.
dragged on a little.
I heard that made Umino look really good. I like Shota Umino.
Did not see it.
Yeah, I didn't see a second, but that's what I heard. It made
Yeah.
him look good.
For the winner-take-all match for the ROH and IWGP Tag Team titles, FTR defeats United Empire and Roppongi Vice.
As they should.
And then we had
Best tag team in the world.
yes,
Yeah, they did the whole I forget which one it was. I think it was Dax. Had an injury throughout the match. Then
separated
went to-
shoulder.
Yeah, it was Dax.
Was that a legit injury or
No.
yeah? I feel like that's kind of the story going on. Like they keep winning titles, but they also keep winning bruises and injuries as they go. Tough guys,
Yeah.
top guys out.
And then for the All Atlantic Championship, I called it on the show
You
last
did.
week,
You
and then
totally
I
did.
did Pro Wrestling Scorecards. I was like, I think Miro's going to win.
Yeah, and I took Pac. I remembered you
yeah.
saying it. I'm like, I'll take Pac.
And Pac defeats Miro, Malachi Black, and Clark Connors, who was a replacement after we left the air last week because Ishii was injured.
Yeah, when they had the match in Japan to see who would be in the match. So
Yeah.
the guy that won got hurt, so they picked the guy that
And they're
lost.
like,
Makes
get on the
sense.
fucking
Yeah.
plane.
And my dream still is out there in the ether of Miro versus Ishii. Maybe we'll get a one-on-one match now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know how much of that match was like called before with Clark Connors being like a last minute replacement, but they did a good job to make him feel like he still had a spot in that match. He did like a table spot, had a bunch of like,
Still got his shit in.
yeah, they did a good job, but he was still like not the focus of the match. It made sense.
Another last-minute change was Hiromu Takahashi, not Suzuki, was unable to attend because he had like a elevated
fever.
temperature. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it became a 6-man tag. Sting, Darby Allin, and Shingo Takagi defeat the Young Bucks and El Phantasmo.
And supernatural powers now for Sting.
Of course. Well, it's Sting. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has magic light power. That is like level.
He teleported.
Oh, I didn't see the match.
Yes, he teleported
Yeah.
from the rafters.
That was a fake Sting.
Yeah, it was a
clearly.
fake Sting. Yeah, so it was another person.
Yeah, there's a lot of fake Stings.
Yeah, because in WCW there was always the different Stings. Remember how they'd have the mask and look it up, but that's not the real Sting.
Yeah, but
And then
in
in
this
Impact-
situation, it was.
I mean,
it
I
was, he
didn't see
teleported.
it, so
At Impact, they had a guy in a Sting mask in the crowd attack somebody, and he lifted up his mask, and it was Sting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was RVD. I think.
Yeah, RVD. Yeah.
but Sting teleported from the rafters to the top of the arch and then jumped on.
Well, why not? He's a wizard.
Yeah.
A lot of
I
wrestling.
thought
wizards.
Jericho was a wizard.
So is Sting.
Sting did jump off the thing.
Well, Malachi Black can also teleport, so it's okay.
Yeah.
His whole crew can teleport.
I
I would just do that when I'm getting pinned. 1, 2, teleport.
Yeah.
No longer being
yeah.
pinned.
There's
But then again, we've realized that much like Japanese role playing games, wrestlers have MP. They have magic points.
And they run
Yeah.
out. And you can't do it.
you run out and you can't do your magic powers anymore until you
drink
get like
mana.
you have to get ether
Yeah, or
or
med.
or
med
stayed
state.
in.
Mhm.
I would just stayed in.
Yeah, because then you
Yeah.
get all back, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's free, and you go to starter areas because it's cheaper. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what was I
or
gonna say
just
now?
have a tent with you.
Oh, some
At
dude
all
put a some
Well,
dude
no, you
put
have
a,
to get to a save point and then use the tent.
some dude put a photo up of, I guess he was one of the people that driving talent to the hotel,
Oh.
and he's like, I'm driving back to the hotel and I keep looking in my rearview mirror and this is my view, and it's just like the brake lights of the car in front of him just lighting up Sting's face in
That's
full-
awesome.
in full face paint. It's like that's a life right there.
And then for the AEW Women's World Title, Thunder Rosa does retain against Tony Storm.
Hey
was pretty
Anthony,
good.
Tony is on right now. Yes, Tantalizing Tony is live currently. I don't know exactly what they're covering right now. It's
Impact?
probably Impact. I don't think they cover Impact. Maybe they are. I'm not sure what they're doing. But yeah, Tantalizing Tony, great channel. I get
Was
to-
Impact on last night?
No.
Impact's
Impact's
on
usually
right
on
now.
Thursdays. AEW
Okay.
on Wednesdays.
But yeah, go check out Tantalizing Tony. What did we just get sent here in the chat? Cards. Fine Rock sent us.
I thought they were like, "Hey, he's on." Well, we can't watch him right now.
Yeah,
a little
Yeah,
bit.
Ryan Vox normally joins us, but he's a little busy tonight. He
Yeah.
is at the 2300 Arena, the arena.
Yeah, that's what I like to call it, the ECW
yes.
arena.
I said 2300 Arena for a reason.
Yeah.
'Cause,
he told me never call it that.
Yeah.
don't ever call
Don't-
it in my
don't call
presence
it that.
again.
That is a bucket list for me.
The
I-
arena or the ECW arena is acceptable, or New Alhambra.
Yeah, you can even, that would even okay.
Well,
Oh,
Mox
you'd be
called
okay
it-
with that?
I that would be acceptable.
Okay.
Mox called it the 2300 Arena in his
Wow.
book.
That might be for. Someone might have told him to do that.
Yeah, like to make sure you get the,
Yeah, get the
what the
name of
venue
it,
is
yeah.
called.
Yeah, plug
Yeah.
the venue.
But yeah, that's a bucket list for me. I would love to go in there as a worker and do a match of commentary. That's like a little bucket
Yeah,
list.
I'd love to wrestle there. I never wrestled an official match.
Yeah, I would love to do commentary there. That'd be a little bucket list thing. The other one would be the Hammerstein, but I think 23 may be a little more reachable.
It's a little doable.
Where?
Sorry, the ECW arena.
You just said if you go anywhere in Philly and you go, "Where's the arena?" They're gonna show you how to get the Swanson
Well,
written.
actually, they're not a wrestling fan. They're probably
Yeah. But I mean, they're wrestling.
Yeah, they're gonna
You say the arena.
send me to Xfinity.
They know.
The bingo hall.
Yeah.
And if you're by Xfinity, you're not that far from the arena, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
That's what Papa Jeff said in the chat there. The bingo hall.
Yeah,
Vikings Hall. That's acceptable.
Viking Hall. Do beef and beer there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the 2300 Viking Hall.
No,
No,
Viking bingo hall.
the Vikings don't even go there anymore.
they haven't been there for quite
The
a while.
Vikings haven't been there for a while.
The Mummers haven't been there for quite a while either.
Yeah. All right. Next match.
Was for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Will Ospreay successfully defends against somebody who had a lot of matches at the arena, Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Stole the show.
Even though they didn't have the physical title because Juice Robinson will not give it up.
Well, he was in the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, he had a run in too.
I didn't get to see. I heard it was very good. I heard a lot of people said this match of the night.
Yeah, they killed it.
High praise. I caught the second half of that match.
Lots of momentum for Orange Cassidy going from a title match and then going into AEW and changing his theme song up. Clearly, there's some momentum.
Not
there.
really changed it. He just got
Went
his
back to
actual
old
he,
music.
music.
he got the rights to his old music.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I was like, oh, what's this going on? Is
Yeah,
this
that's-
the new
It's
guy?
Jane by Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah, I
Boy.
didn't know he used that.
Yeah, that's what he
Shows
uses all
and-
at all independent.
I learned that he used it when I had to play it for him.
Oh, there you go.
So that's
I didn't like that Pixie song anyway.
I love the Pixies.
I don't think it was good entrance music.
this is better wrestling entrance
It
music.
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That
I think
Because
I think it fits
you
his,
could have a good song, but it's not a good entrance music song.
yeah, I think it fits his character, the Jane one, better.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the Pixies just because I really like that song. But I remember when we were doing like when all the music was being sent to me to give to Brian for IWTV, and it said Orange Cassidy Jane. I was like, oh, okay, we're doing that, not the Pixies. And then he's like, oh, that's been his music for a minute. I was like, and then
Yeah,
like
I
going
didn't
back
know.
and watch, I was like, oh, okay, because it hit at the brewery show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone was like, what?
Mm.
Yeah,
I was like, who's coming out?
Some people did. Yeah.
And some people freaked out.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh yeah, we figured he would be here.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that was the de facto Chikara reunion show. He's going to be there.
So good.
And then our next match was for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Oh no, it wasn't. It was the mystery opponent match where Claudio Castagnoli defeats Zack Sabre junior
It was a hell of a pop.
Well, there was a women's match in there too that we
We talked about
Yeah.
Thunder Rose and Tony Storm. Claudio hits his old school finisher, no gotch pile driver,
Oh, the Applemore water slide.
the Ricola
Oh,
bomb.
the Ricola. Okay.
But yeah, he hits the neutralizer about 10 seconds.
I can't wait till he
Yeah.
does the UFO. That's coming. He didn't do it last night, but he will do it.
Hey, it would have been crazy if he would have done it on top of the cage. and
Oh
just
my god.
watched.
I almost had a heart
UFO would be
attack
really
with the
scary
scream.
up there. My
Yeah,
god.
when he started doing the giant swing, yeah.
It was very close to the.
Yeah, no, I had to avert my gaze. I'm not good with people on high stuff.
Yeah.
Then we had the IWGP World Heavyweight Title match where Jay White successfully retains against Kazuchika Okada, Hangman Page, and Adam Cole. They had to call a little bit of an audible here. Unfortunately, Adam Cole did get hurt. Reports are a concussion. Apparently, the finish was supposed to be Adam Cole takes the Rainmaker. Jay White hits the switchblade on Okada and then pins Cole, but Cole was hurt before then, I believe, on a drop kick from Okada.
It was
Wow.
it was like a Falcon Arrow almost slam, like a Michinoku driver. When he came down the Michinoku driver, there was something wrong.
Okada did it, or
Okada, and then Jay White picked Okada up, threw him out of the ring, and then he covered Adam Cole, and you can tell they have an exchange like it's over.
Yeah.
Was it the air raid crash that he does onto the knee?
Yeah.
No, he dropped him on his back. I thought it was like almost like a Michinoku driver.
so Okada doesn't do that move normally. No, there's a Tombstone.
Yeah, it was
Tombstone.
maybe I'm just misremembering.
I mean, I didn't see
thought
it, so I
I
can't say
thought it was a Michinoku driver, but it was something. He hit him with something, and
Mhm.
then Jay White quick runs in because Okada was bleeding from the mouth too. He took a weird bump at one point in the match.
Oh, it was a tombstone slam. It was a spinning tombstone.
Okay.
Yeah. So then he threw Okada out, and then when he went for the cover right on Adam, you could tell between him and the ref and somebody else there was communication. Like he's like, keep going or something, like because he was gonna do the 2, and then they hit the 3 because Adam Cole was
Out of it.
almost
Mhm.
out of the ring.
Yeah.
Like he was so far in the corner
Yeah.
where he was like he could have put it the ropes could have stopped any of
He
it.
also kicks out at 3. Like his shoulder comes out.
He might
up.
not.
Yeah, he was
aware.
he was done. And then like they quick just like Jay White goes right to the ramp, so takes all the attention
Yeah.
off the ring.
Yeah, Jay White did a very good job in that moment. He was like, "Hey, raise my hand," made it look like it was supposed to happen. Went to the outside, taunted the audience.
Yep. Yeah, so it's a little. As soon as I seen, it, I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
I said something looked a little squirrely there.
Okada went for the Rainmaker, and Cole just drops to
Yeah.
his knees. Like he spins into
Yeah,
it,
he
and
was
just
out.
drops.
Yeah, sucks, man. Injury bug is biting
Yeah.
real hard in AEW.
Everywhere.
Concussions, you always are a little like that's not good.
Yeah.
You just hope like quality of life wise,
Yeah.
and everything's good with Adam Cole. So then your main event for the AEW Interim World Championship, Jon Moxley wins a bloodbath against Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I heard he got busted open from a sling blade, and not an actual blade. The move, the sling blade. I'm
There,
like,
there may have been an actual blade involved in that.
Yeah.
one.
There was also a spot too where Tanahashi dropped some elbows, and then like there was another spot. I don't know, but the sling blade is kind of the exchange that like opened it up. I guess I don't know, but it was a good
makes
match.
No sense,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Yeah, it
Whatever.
it was really good. It was first time for me seeing him wrestle.
Yeah, you kind of got to see more of the real Tanahashi in that
Yeah.
match as
Mhm.
opposed to the tag match on Dynamite.
Okada too. Like Okada. I mean, I still it was a multi-man match, but I thought the multi-man match was really
Oh,
good.
that
Everyone said it was
crowd!
good.
That crowd was so hot for Okada.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
He
Oh,
was,
yeah,
he was
every
the most over
time.
guy in the show.
Yeah.
Every time he went for anything offensive, it was just immediate. Okada.
Yeah.
Okada.
Oh, and then
And even in the scrum, he's like, I wish Japanese fans were like
during
this.
the Orange Cassidy thing, Orange Cassidy gets jumped, and then the best friends come out and help him. Now, best friends are like Trent's back. It's your 3 original guys back from
Minus-
best friends,
Uh,
minus Chris
Yuta.
and Yuta.
and Yuta, because Yuta's would be the black. the
Yeah,
black
because
belt.
there were rumors leading up to this that Chuck Taylor was
Yeah.
done, like he was going to be out,
yeah,
and then he shows up with best friends.
Yeah, they
And
did say
then,
a lot of the people that have the per appearance deals have run up, and they're not gonna
yeah.
bring them people back.
Yeah, the big
Peter
name was
Avalon.
Alan Angels.
Yeah, but you
publicly
think
said. Yeah.
Chuck would have had a contract?
Yeah,
He was on Dynamite too.
Yeah,
But
but before that, he was not on TV since March.
yeah.
with new tie-dye jumpsuits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But what's the Japanese dude? Shingo
Shingo Takagi
Takagi.
He came out and
with the mullet.
they had him and Orange had an exchange where he with the sunglasses.
wow.
Or no, that
No,
was
that was
Shibata.
Shibata.
Oh,
Shibata.
Katsuyori Shibata, yeah.
Shibata. I don't know the Japanese.
That
guys,
that
so
was
sorry.
more to tease a program with him and Osprey, I think.
Yeah.
Because Katsuyori Shibata is like literally in a company where your legacy is like these serious wrestlers. His nickname is the Wrestler. Like that's how serious he is. He still wears the black trunk. He wears Young Boy stuff, black trunks. Like he doesn't. There's no. He would do the. It would be like the no gimmicks needed thing.
Yeah.
And he did the thumbs up.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, because he's the most anti-Orange Cassidy you could get.
Yeah, it was cool.
Because the guy's like their comedy guy, Toru Yano. He was literally in the crowd.
Yeah, really? Wow.
All right, well, let's get to let's just run through Blood and Guts quick.
Yeah, but we had a few other matches. But the big Blood and Guts match, it's a wild one. War games essentially, but they can't call it that. It ends with a good storytelling moment at the end. Great match.
The whole night did really, really well building new
Yeah,
stories.
the only dark cloud was Santana getting hurt.
Yeah.
Off the most, all the wild things, he gets hurt off doing a rock bottom.
Yeah,
You
There's
know?
glass
It's like,
involved. Sammy leaps off the cage, and
Thumbtacks.
he gets hurt off of his fire up into the cage.
Yeah, they tried to do something with the rubbing alcohol, but then it fell out of the cage. They couldn't get back
they
in.
couldn't get it back
Yeah,
in.
Ty
And then
Conti
they
was
got it
trying to
back.
squeeze it
Yeah.
through.
I'm like,
but-
how did
They
you get
got
out?
it back in, and then
Yeah, it
well,
was
I
shooting on
guess
Jericho.
when Jericho hit Eddie, it somehow flew out.
the cage might have came out a little bit and it slid
Yeah,
down.
it
by the
slid
end.
out.
Yeah.
And then Ty Conti almost showed the entire world her whole bits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's fighting.
Thank you, Ruby.
She was fighting super hard to keep her dress
She
down.
was struggling mightily to keep that dress down.
You know,
Yeah,
I would assume she knew that spot was coming. Wear little boy shorts underneath that.
Yeah.
No one, no
She
one
definitely
would-
wasn't.
No.
But other stuff in the match, we won't go through the whole night, but they set up a lot of really good storylines going forward. Like they did,
Mhm.
they're setting up more with the Ember Moon, where it's like, well, is it Ember Moon or is it Statlander? Because they're both hot and people kind of want both, you know. So it's,
Excuse me, Athena.
Athena,
What are you
yeah.
on the main, calling the main event?
I know.
Where,
Athena.
where Ruby Soho gets called Ruby Riot and then Claudio gets called Cesaro.
Danhausen needed a partner against the Ass
Oh, I-
Boys, so
I
he
never
called
thought
FTR,
that.
Yeah.
which is really cool.
That was
Some guys
so
that are pretty good
cool.
at wrestling.
Billy Gunn kind of sides with the Acclaim over his kids. What was another storyline? So now we're getting a cool program between the Ass Boys and the Acclaim. No titles involved, just a nice little storyline.
I like that they're just colloquially the Ass Boys now.
Yeah.
I like the ass boys
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
And
Why not?
they trademarked the name too.
Oh, did they? Good.
definitely-
Smart.
they're- yeah,
they quickly done that. Like
Or
right
like-
when somebody had said it, and then they quickly went
Danhausen.
and-
Danhausen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm Danhausen, like, what the fuck? But he got a job out of it. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. What was another story?
Christian further.
Christian
Christian continued to be an amazing heel.
Yeah.
and he recruited Luchasaurus. who's
Kane
now,
Luchasaurus.
or now he's evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks cool, all black.
I think it does. It looks better.
Yeah,
This Christian
it's Kane without all that messy fascism. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, this Christian character, but there's still a mask involved.
It's
one way or
actually
another.
Tomko under there.
And he has the black mouth now instead of the green.
Yeah,
Like,
One of my favorite moments of the era was when Christian was feuding with John Cena, and he's in the back, and John Cena's still doing the rapper thing, and he goes, "Tomko, give me a beat." No.
Yeah, Christian's kind of back to his like mid 2000s, early 2000s.
Christian
peeps
is great.
kind of
yeah,
character.
it's fun.
I want Christian to win the feud.
But yeah, a lot of really cool
the
storylines
belt
building
up.
up. The only build up right now for me when it comes to the tag team division, at one point in time, AEW's tag team division was so stacked, and now every team is in like a feud or something else going on, and no one's really focusing on the title picture. Like,
They're still teams.
yeah, but like there's no
Couple hurt.
every team is kind of either hurt or they're going for, they're already in like the Lucha Bros would please keep them away from the title for a while, because
Yeah.
the Bucks and Lucha have been done too
Well,
many times.
there's
Yeah.
one team, and it
Yeah.
has been done a lot, and they are the best tag team in
Yeah.
the world.
But I think they're going to stick. I think they're going to help build that ROH pay per view. I think them going for the other title right now is too. I just don't.
That's the next program.
Yeah.
What-
It's FTR versus the Bucks.
What if
Yes.
it's come to our house? We'll put the ROH titles on the line, but if you can't beat us, we get a shot at your tag titles.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
At all
but,
out.
but they're right now they're worried about setting up the ROH pay per view. Whoever they take on.
Wow, I mean,
Yeah.
Well, it could be the Bucks they take on there.
I don't think.
What if it's Trent and Chuck?
Roppongi Vice.
Yeah.
Or no, that's best friends.
yeah,
What if it's-
probably
what if
not.
it's the
'cause it seems-
Christopher Street connection.
Yeah.
the only other team out there
What if
who I
it's the
think
Ring Crew Express?
who I think can
Donna
take on
Marcos.
the who possibly can be like going for the Young Bucks next would be Lee and Swerve.
Yeah, but it seems like they're teasing them wrestling each other.
Yeah.
I know who it's not going to be. It's an old ROH team. It's not going to be the SAT.
No,
Because they're going to be at the Hamburg
Yeah.
Fieldhouse with us.
That's right. So it's
Taking on,
interesting.
and they're going to lose because they're taking on our buddies,
Diamond City,
Diamond City and Philly Mike.
Philadelphia Michael.
SAT, get out of here.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
It's over. For
You know what? Yeah, go to Ring of Honor because you're coming in to lose.
Go back to all Jersey Pro. Or
Yeah.
what the hell it was called.
Crazy. Yeah, but a lot of cool stuff.
Is there any chance that it could be the Briscoes?
again.
No.
I would watch it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch
Yeah.
it, but I don't. I think when AEW set that bar of,
Well,
who
no,
can-
I'm not saying against FTR. I'm saying against the Bucks.
I'm saying I don't see the Briscoes coming to.
I guess
when,
that
when
Turner
you set a
executive
bar,
still is saying no.
when you
Mm.
set a
So dumb.
bar that who can be there and who can't on past discretions, I mean, it doesn't get much higher than what Briscoes did back in the day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's
Yeah.
pretty.
I mean, there's people who've done worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
That
as
might
a
be
company,
fair.
AEW, they're kind of holding a higher standard. Than,
It's the one guy at Turner Broadcasting that's messing it all up,
Mhm.
or Warner Media, whatever it's called now.
yeah. So it'd be interesting. That's the only thing with the tag team division. I'm excited. I'm interested to see where they go. And then the only other news before we jump in the news real quick, because we are closing in on it. We're still a half hour in. We're still good. Kenny Omega. I don't know.
I was just
I don't know
looking for it.
what podcast he was
He
on.
was on a
It was on a
live stream for like CEO Gaming.
I had a
Alright.
bit of other news too.
But
I have some other news.
yeah, Kenny said that this recovery has been hell. It's been super painful, and that if he has another setback like this,
Yeah.
he doesn't see himself continuing.
Here it is. It's if I get another major setback, that's it. I'm done. I can't do this ever again. 2 times, 3 times a day, really painful rehab, not even knowing what's going to be like when I get back in the ring. Kenny Omega and his recovery on CEO Gaming live stream.
Yeah,
And
and
they're the ones that did like Fighter Fest. That Alex Jabali guy who actually
oh,
wrestled
yeah,
the match.
yeah.
that-
like
that's
he,
CEO.
he's and once again, it's pro wrestling. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? But
but-
he did look pretty rough.
Well, he's just saying
in that
it's a
live stream.
rough road
Yeah, but
recovery.
he-
which-
he-
yeah,
The way
yeah.
he even said, like, I don't even know what it's gonna be like when I'm in the ring. Like he's even questioning his ability when
Well,
he comes back
everyone
if he
does
could
that.
be Kenny
Yeah.
Omega.
Ric Flair did that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you always gotta have your work radar up a a little bit. Too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, if you believe that, then watch me wrestle Roman for the title on Raw.
yeah. That's the
I'm not
thing too. Is when you wrestle hurt for very very long, you're just doing more damage.
yeah.
And
so you
that's
shouldn't do
kinda
that.
what
Or
he
when you
did.
come back too soon.
Yeah.
That's not good.
So he wrestled hurt for a very very long time, and now the recovery process to get better is
yeah, rougher. And
excruciating.
he had a couple injuries. So. Was it just
hernia,
one?
shoulder, and something else.
I forget.
He had a bad neck too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hair,
Rough.
neck.
He
neck
says
hernia.
not having a good time with it.
The
so.
hernia, I don't think went the surgery for the hernia didn't go right the first time. I think so. He had to go back in and have
That's
another
okay.
one.
And that style he wrestled, not exactly low impact.
No.
No,
not
not at all.
exactly light
And
on the
he's
body.
he's not a young man anymore
No.
either.
He's 74 years old.
He's 112.
older than Vince.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's going to wrestle Ric Flair. Ric Flair's
yeah,
last match.
that's in the match.
And for
I do have.
He's
the last 5-6 years of his career have just been fucking. He's been a workhorse.
Mhm.
He's
he was in go mode since he's been in Japan, I think. And
Yeah.
then he came over here, then was in go mode, and now finally tooling it down, trying to take care of himself. And it's hard. It's
And-
hard recovering from some of that stuff.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, Ric Flair's last match, they did announce a few more matches for that show.
Here we go.
We did talk last week about Josh Alexander and Jacob Fatu for the Impact title, the Wolves against Motor City Machine Guns, an Impact Knockouts title match added to the show. Jordan Grace, the new champion, defending against 2 people we've met at PPW a few times here, well, at least once.
Valkyrie.
Tasha
No.
Steele.
No.
Oh wow.
Diana Perazzo
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
and Rachel Ellering.
Oh wow.
Rachel's so good.
Let's get that lineage there.
Yeah.
You know, tying her back to NWA. Her
Rachel's
dad, obviously.
really, really good.
Managed
And
to
plus, Rachel.
Road Warriors.
Rachel. I don't know. Rachel's another one on the scene. I'm like, how is she not on weekly television?
She was signed to NXT and she got cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's really talented.
And Diana is too. Jeez. Well, Diana didn't want to. Diana wanted to leave NXT. She chose to leave NXT.
Yeah. Same with my girl Willow here. It's only a matter of time.
Oh, she was. I was gonna say she was in NXT.
No,
Yeah, I missed that.
just
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
another person I want on weekly television because she's just so talented.
I think she's low key signed though. Seems like it.
It does seem like she gets pushed a
Mhm.
lot in AEW.
Yeah, she's been getting a lot of appearances, but I don't think anything came to fruition yet.
You know who won't be low key signed by AEW is low key.
No,
Never.
definitely.
So the next match they announced is a New Japan Showcase match. Ren Narita against Clark Connors,
Okay.
and
The
then
boys. on excursion.
bit of a hoss fight here. Killer Kross against a guy I saw Killer Kross wrestle at one of the Bloodsport shows, and he made Killer Kross look kind of tiny, not tiny, but smallish.
Mhm.
Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Oh yeah, he's a big dude.
He's huge.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's actually going to be a really good show with like kind of a circusy main event with whatever Ric Flair is going to do. Now he's like, I'm not going to be 1989 Ric Flair, but maybe I can be 2008 Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Aw.
He's like, I won't be as good as 1988 Ric Flair, but I bet I can be better than 2008 Ric
Yeah.
Flair.
Aw.
We also you said you had to turn his pacemaker off for the day, which is like You probably should never turn
Yeah,
your face
no.
to a
Yeah,
girl.
that's-
That
ever.
just sounds like a bad
no
idea.
reason.
He's going Mickey Rourke out here.
Ric Flair's gonna die in the ring.
He's gonna give him the ram jam.
Yeah.
So Andy, what was your news?
They said that reportedly Sasha Banks may have been released on the 10th of the month.
6, I thought. Oh, no,
Yeah,
yeah,
the 10th, and that they didn't announce it because WWE obviously wants to resign her, but she got released, so it's on the low key, and they're like in a standstill at what they're doing. So I mean, maybe that's true. Who knows? We'll see.
So
She
they
still didn't
released
show
her,
up.
but they want to resign her.
Apparently
Yeah.
it was somebody in legal that put the release through.
Yeah. So and then
Like a
like,
high-ranking
there
legal
might be
person?
legal, and there might be like lawyers as well. Also, they signed some girl from Bellator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a very
Maya?
pretty-
Yeah, and you found the greatest, like,
Oh,
craziest
her whole
pictures.
ass was hanging
Yeah.
out.
I was like, who shared that? That's
Yeah.
like, what a thirst trap.
I honestly thought it was you. I'm thinking,
No,
oh,
I was-
Tony
it was
had a
the
share.
girl
I'm
from-
like,
I was like-
Andy?
Yeah.
I was
Well, I
like,
didn't pick the picture. That was from the article.
oh, I was
Yeah.
like,
Somebody else
yeah.
picked that.
I was
But
like,
The other
fucking
pictures in it
Tyler Beck?
were also TNA pictures and not the wrestling company.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Valerie
whole beehole
Loretta
showing.
Okay, yeah.
is the fighter's name.
Oh, and also Logan Paul signed today.
Yes,
Yeah.
I seen
A
that.
multi-year deal.
I bet he got a lot of money because he makes a lot of money without WWE. So-
Yeah.
It seems like they're already building towards him versus The Miz for SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Which is good and bad because then
They
you're like,
started that since WrestleMania.
I would
guess.
imagine it would probably be like 3 or 4 shows a year, probably like
Yeah.
maybe like the appearances on Raw to build it up, like maybe Mania, SummerSlam.
He's young.
A
one of the
Saudi show.
Arabia shows,
He's
yeah.
athletic. He can put a good match
The
on.
next Mania is in LA, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, perfect for him.
WrestleMania goes Hollywood
Mm-hmm.
again.
again.
The only other thing I'll go through real quick is Raw. Cena came back, which was fun. A lot of
Yeah,
cool,
this probably wasn't bad.
lot of cool.
The main event
segments.
wasn't
he
bad.
didn't really come back though. He came back for an appearance.
I loved
He's
his-
not-
It was a good promo.
I don't know. I loved his promo with the Street Profits. Like, I think that did a really good
Ooh.
job of just making them feel more important,
Mhm.
especially going into their tag title match against.
He did a promo with Zeke,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, because behind the scenes, he was the one who came up with Walk with Elias. Cena gave that to
Yeah.
him, like that would work. So he's like, I need a catchphrase for me, and he was just like, I essentially like, I don't got one for you. But that was a cool exchange. When he came through the hallway and all the talent was clapping, R-Truth was like, oh, my childhood favorite.
Oh, yeah.
What
like
they
watching
really
when
should
he was
have done is they should have just for one night tried to track down Paul London so he could just smile.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And then fire him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they went by Becky, she was just like she was just sitting,
Yeah.
looking straight ahead, and just giving like a half golf clap. But I mean, I hope Cena comes back more often because they actually put a decent show on for Monday. It's still 3 hours, but it was overall was a decent show.
From what I seen, the main event was very good. Alexa vs. Liv was okay, and I love Alexa. It was okay.
Yeah.
And there was some match I was like, nope, not watching this.
Montez versus Uso was good.
You
I didn't see that.
there were also apparently some other returns. Daniel Bryan returned.
Chris
Oh, yeah.
Jericho
Big-
returned.
Chris
Yeah.
Jericho returned,
Yep.
but
All-
in video form.
All for John Cena.
Tony Khan reportedly, without hesitation, said, "Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah, 'cause what does it matter?
I mean,
Hurt
they let AJ do a thing for Slammiversary.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
overall just like good momentum off
Yeah.
of Forbidden
do-
Door.
Do you think WWE would go the other way?
No.
No,
No, and honestly,
that just shows the pettiness.
no, I think that's just WWE saying, "Hey, let them do what they want to for the wrestling world. This is our universe."
Also, at the end of the day, regardless of how it went down, and I know he the way he left the company wasn't like he's still like upset about it, and he's not always the biggest cheerleader for WWE. But at the end of the day, Jericho and Daniel Bryan will be in WWE Hall of Fame. Like they will be WWE
Yeah.
Hall of Famers. Like regardless of where they retire, what company they will be honored in WWE's Hall of Fame.
CM Punk not so much.
Yeah.
No.
No, CM Punk will not be. Yeah,
Vince was on TV again.
yeah. He introduced Cena.
Yep.
No, he's
gonna come out
working. He's working that
every
everything.
week. I'm still here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's working that
He thinks that's gonna like help.
drama.
Yeah.
Like the judge will be like, oh, I seen Vince on TV. You're okay.
Yeah.
You're dismissed.
But Cena's promo was really good. Essentially, just thanking the crowd and
Said he doesn't know when he's gonna have a match, but he guarantees he'll have a match and not just one.
yeah, it's gonna be Austin Theory.
Yeah, at SummerSlam.
Mhm.
All right. Any other news?
Yeah, AEW's ratings very good. They were the fifth highest viewership since they moved to TBS, 1.023 million, and they won the night 18-35 on cable.
Good
Yeah.
for them.
Now, the only thing I will say, I
18-49.
do enjoy their shows, obviously, because they put weekly television to make it exciting. Because you see matches you've never seen or matches that can be pay-per-view quality on weekly television. But if you think with this recent bugs of injuries and guys going a little hard and going hard every single week and then going hard in a pay-per-view, do you think they tone down a little bit?
Probably not, but they do have Plenty of people.
Yeah, they have
to fill
plenty
those
Plenty of
spots.
people.
Apparently, they had to rebook this show because they had a little bit of a COVID outbreak as well.
Oh wow.
really?
Yeah.
Nothing going right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think like in their situation, it's kind of tough to just have people filling spots because no one has like a regular time slot. Like in WWE programming, you kind of know what you're getting every week, and that's something people complain about.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very formulaic.
Yeah.
Whereas like AEW,
That's why I stopped watching.
but when you get into that AEW spot, it's not like someone's going to be replacing a
Mhm.
character spot. They have to kind of rework everything that
They,
they're
they do
doing.
very
Right,
well at
which is
building
nice.
stories.
To me, it's nice. I didn't care to see the same couple matches every week. It was always like,
It does give a guy that maybe wasn't going to get a chance
A
to shine
chance.
and then
Yep.
get
Yeah.
over.
yeah.
Well, no, yeah, you know, if someone has to replace, like in a WWE
Mhm.
situation, if someone has to replace Seth Rollins' spot, you
Mhm.
know that's going to be a big deal.
Mhm.
Whereas there's a lot of just injuries all
leeway.
over the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
he-
a lot of leeway, and I think this goes to show that Tony Khan, this was still a good show on Wednesday, and if they had COVID bugs, and if they have and I know they have the injury bug like they do,
It's like
Still a
15
good show.
people.
Yeah,
still a
it's
good
lot.
show with all that going on.
Yeah, WWE scrambling for missing one guy.
Yeah, they
Well, that's what
scrambled.
happens when you have 4 stars.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Four.
Yeah.
Who were 3 and 4?
Yeah. Well, Cody, Roman, Brock, and
Oh, okay.
Becky, I guess.
and Seth.
Yeah.
I would
Uh,
there.
he's second tier.
I don't know. He's done
he's
so
on
in
much.
their
for-
eyes.
he's
well,
on-
in their eyes, it's Brock and Roman.
He's
Brock,
on-
Brock and Roman.
I don't know. The
I
way
think
that Seth has elevated everyone
Yeah,
on
but
the
I mean,
card.
Seth's on his upswing.
Who's been in the main event for the past 2 years?
He's on his upswing.
Brock and Roman.
Seth's on his upswing.
I know, but who does WWE
He's on
push?
an upswing with how annoying he is.
Yeah.
Like, I
He's
mean,
on-
as a heel,
Who does WWE push? I think Cody's in a better spot than Seth.
yeah.
I mean, even
For
her-
now. Well, Seth's going to be a catalyst again for Cody, but
Well, yeah, Cody was in that spot because he was in there against Seth.
yeah,
I don't know about
my
that.
my take is I think Cody wins Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Let's
probably.
see.
I think
Cody.
If he can get in,
not
if
Cody,
he can
Seth,
physically
Seth,
do it.
Seth. Sorry,
Oh.
Seth wins Money in the
Okay.
Bank. Seth cashes in.
But who the hell else would win? Man?
Takes
Riddle.
I
That's my pick on that.
I think he takes a title from Roman in a cash in.
Mhm.
I think he holds the cashed in title. Cody comes back at Rumble, wins
And
Rumble,
that's your WrestleMania.
and your WrestleMania is Cody beating Seth, and then going into the next Mania after Mania season is
Mhm.
when you tease the Roman Cody feud.
I don't know. My thoughts on it are
think-
Riddle wins Money in the Bank, gets a very quick victory over either Brock and Roman. That way, the history book has.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's happening.
And
Brock
then
Riddle can finally beat Brock.
yeah, and then Seth
Brock will never do it.
in the next appearance would then take the title off of Riddle.
Cody wins the Royal Rumble and then loses at WrestleMania to Roman.
So I think Roman's going to be in a different match with no title involved.
It depends what the Rock movie is making.
Yeah.
There's so much story there with Seth and Roman, but that's
Depends how well Black Adam does.
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to do very well.
It's
What
a
makes you
comic
say that?
book movie.
Yeah.
All-
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
It's a comic book movie with The Rock in it.
Yeah. The
The
Rock
Rock-
has
The Rock-
shit movies that do
Do
well.
great.
I think-
Jungle Cruise.
I
Come
think
on.
I think it'll do well as a box office. But I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, that's all
people,
they care about.
I think when
Yeah.
people watch it, I don't think it's going to be critically.
they only care about the money coming
Are the
through.
Fast and Furious movies good?
I don't know. Moana's very
They
good.
haven't been good in years.
Yeah.
Early screenings are not being very kind.
Was
for
the Rock's
Black-
Earthfuck movie good?
Black Adam? Yeah, but
Well,
no
what
one
was-
no one
Yeah,
talks
him
about
and
it as
the
much.
him and the
Everybody made
Ape, too. What was
money.
that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, from
Yeah,
what
they all made
from what they're
money.
saying early, and it's a DC movie, so I just
He's got another one
Yeah,
coming
because
out
Batman didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
it did. I mean, it did very well, but what I'm saying is
It's a business.
a lot of early reviews are saying it's not that great.
Well, don't listen to early reviews. Judge it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
More news: domestic violence charges against Jake Atlas were dropped.
Oh, wow, good.
So we'll see if that means that AW thinks again about bringing him back,
Yeah.
or if they're just going to cut him loose.
Yeah.
What does it say? Why they were dropped? Or
Just I think they said lack of evidence.
interesting.
And then MLW just had a new signing: Parker Boudreaux, the former Harlan.
Oh,
They
On,
were so big
NXT.
on him, and then I guess they just, he doesn't have it.
I think they said there was some stuff that they were
Yeah.
digging up and they were finding.
They
it.
dug
didn't
out
like.
Oh,
some
really?
dirt on him. It sounds like.
Oh, boy.
They're like, ooh, this can be a nightmare down the road. We're
And
gonna
that,
have- and we like that Bordeaux name, and we just don't want to call him Parker. So
again, not to judge a book by its cover, but like I don't know, his Instagram appearance, his social media appearance seems like I don't know, a popular kid in high school kind of feel.
he was a football player. yeah.
Athlete,
Yeah.
yeah.
They were saying he's going to be the next Brock. They were so big on him. And
Yeah. it had to be something crazy that WWE's like, maybe we should pull back a little bit here.
Our Vince just was like, nah. Looked at him and just said, nah.
Yeah,
And
but it
then-
had like an attitude thing. Like, yeah,
Yep.
we don't like him. They do like two people though that are considering moving up from NXT 2.0, according to Dave Meltzer. That is Sangha and Zion Quinn.
Who the hell are they?
They're people on NXT 2.0.
Bring up,
One's
let Rex Steiner.
One's a big Indian dude.
But
he can be also not Shanky.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, he'll be serious, and then after the seriousness fails, then he can be silly.
and Zion Quinn is the guy with the tribal tattoos who is not related to the Usos.
Oh, okay.
He kind of like wanders around NXT doing different things. He was in a feud with.
Not everybody.
I was gonna say, I think
yeah.
everyone wanders around NXT.
That is true. He was in a feud with Legato, and then he was in a little feud with Wes Lee while Wes Lee was trying to figure out who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing really.
Wes Lee couldn't possibly be my real name. Who am I?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous, even by wrestling standards.
Oh,
I need to find out who I
There's
really
one
am.
name that's just awful. I forget what it was. I was like, how could you fucking wrestle with this?
Is it Casey Catanzaro's?
Oh, no, her name's bad. Katana Chance. No, it's a
Katana
dude. And the name is awful. I'm looking up.
Is it no? Alba Fire is another bad one, but that's another one.
They're all bad. Triple H, get your hands back in that.
It was back in the it's not as bad as the days of Michael McGillicuddy or the brief time where it's like, let's take a famous athlete and change one letter of their name. Because you had Kenny from the Spirit Squad became Kenny Dykstra.
Yeah.
And then you had
it.
and then you had a guy on SmackDown named Bam Neely. Really
What
bad.
was the other one? Kenny McGillicuddy? What?
Michael McGillicuddy.
It
was Curtis
Can-
Axel. Yeah.
Can you imagine saying that on commentary a couple times in a row?
No.
Yeah. So
There's only one McGillicuddy I care about in professional wrestling, and Andy Header knows who it is. Viola McGillicuddy.
You watch
yes.
her versus Bill Alfonso. It's awesome. Jim Cornette did a bit where he simply read the names of NXT wrestlers and they just shit all over him because some are really bad. Malik
The
Blade.
guy who loves the business so much.
That's a
Makes
terrible
a career
name.
tearing it down.
Yeah, but he also builds it up. Listen to the podcast.
What does he does he watch old stuff?
He had nice things to say about Chris Statlander last time.
Yeah.
Last
Oh,
this
wow.
he
episode.
said he will watch now that
Yes.
she's not an alien.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Where's that guy name? Bodie Hayward.
never give that guy
That's a
time of my
terrible
day.
name.
I usually don't give too many podcasts my time of day. However,
Yeah.
this one right here.
Not many people give us a time of day either. It's okay.
I'm just gonna bring in a tennis racket with me, more people will watch.
Yeah. We got to start tearing everything down,
This guy's name is Ru.
but then cry when the business is being ruined.
Ru Feng.
Oh, that's
Wait.
Ru Rufeng. It's two names. Ru Feng.
If Vince Russo was booking, he would be a roofer.
Yeah, he would be.
He'll be Ru Feng,
Feng.
Ray Strack, and Bill Ding.
Edris Anafi.
What?
These names
Bill-
are
Bill
Well, if you
Ding
want the
it.
full rundown, go check out the
Yeah.
Jim Cornette experience.
It doesn't.
Bill Ding and Ru Feng should be a tag team.
It doesn't.
The
That,
constructions.
it doesn't
the
make that
construction
JD
corporation.
McDonough look that bad.
Yeah, no,
That actually looks normal.
Where is he? Is he over the Atlantic Ocean now in his magic car?
not
Oh,
yet.
yeah, he's on his way. He's on
It's on
his
his
way.
I
way.
didn't watch it this week yet.
I can't find that. Guru Raj is a terrible name.
They should have one where he's driving underwater just to making gurgling sounds. So
Yeah.
He's on his way from Ireland to Florida.
Wait a minute, Johnny Gargano?
That's
This is an old list.
that's a horrible name.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
Okay, it's
Johnny.
not-
That's
yeah,
what wrestling
Is there any other news?
No, that was everything I had.
All right, we are way over, so let's get into our. We had to do a review on a show, so let's get into our topic this week: the history of Chris Kanyon.
Yeah, it's June 30th. Pride Month is coming to a close, so let's talk about one of the first openly, publicly, not the first. He claimed to be the first, but one of the first
Actually,
publicly.
I think I
openly
might have one
professional
more thing to
wrestlers.
sneak in real quick, because it's
Is it a
Pride Month.
bad NXT name?
No, and it's something you're not going to hear on the Jim Cornette podcast either. So, outsports.com is a like a Pride thing, and they said the people who are in the Pride community who have titles this month during Pride Month, and the headline of it was Keita Murray.
They have a Pride belt that looks like the New Japan belt.
Yeah, I
that
saw
has
it.
a rainbow. on it.
I
Like,
think
kinda
he
like that
has
one
it there,
better.
doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dark Sheik, who's another
Yeah.
Dark Sheik won the main title in Hood Slam, which is a very like underground culty company in LA.
So if you want to check out that full article, definitely go check it out on our website. And it's a lot of cool names on there who won some gold during Pride Month. One of them being good friends of the podcast announced the Runway got some
Yeah.
tag team gold.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, from Rise Wrestling. They're on the list. I'm just trying to go through real quick, see if anybody
I
else
didn't
we
see
know.
this list, so
I think just people who we've come across that might be That
Kita's
might be
very
it.
good. I've wrestled him before.
Who?
Kita.
Oh, Keita's
Keita Murray,
fantastic.
yes.
Yeah. That's just it. We could jump into that now. Sorry. I just wanted to get that out real fast.
Yeah, so we're going to talk Chris Kanyon here. You may have seen the last season of Dark Side of the Ring. They did do an episode about him and more about his struggles with mental illness. He was before the show went live. We were talking a little bit about Larry Sweeney, and one of the most tragic stories of the last 20 years in wrestling was him. And Chris Kanyon's right up there too. Born Chris Kluksaritz
What a name.
on January 4th, 1970 in Queens, New York. He did have that very New York kind of accent. He had a lisp that the people would make fun of. He got hooked on wrestling because his father was really into horse racing, and wrestling came on after the horse racing he would
wow.
watch.
Was waiting for that bridge.
Yeah.
And he was actually, according to an interview we did, he was at Madison Square Garden the night Hulk Hogan won the WWF title from the Iron Sheik.
Wow. Why didn't he have a horse racing gimmick then? I mean, it's a little big, but that's
The
okay.
world's largest jockey,
Yeah,
Chris
yeah,
Kanyon. You thought
look at
Vince
that.
Russo would have been all over that. Bro, he's a jockey,
But he's too big.
but he's 6'4".
He can't get on the horse.
Bro, it's money. The wrestling purists won't like it, but he's gonna be a jockey.
Yeah, he's coming out in the horse too.
He is the horse.
Yeah.
No, he's gonna be the jockey, and we're gonna get a little person to be the horse.
Yeah.
What
And some porn stars.
Russo's whole plan in professional
Just to
wrestling
ruin it?
was just piss off Jim Cornette?
We mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Mission accomplished.
they were on the booking team at the time.
Yes.
I think if I worked with Jim, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna do stuff to troll this guy.
You gotta sneak some stuff in.
Oh, I would just piss him off. That'd be
but
my whole.
why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't have his hands in it, it's not the greatest thing that ever
No,
existed.
not true. Not true. Not. I listen to podcasts every single week.
Well, I'll
Right?
predetermine things how you do. I just listen to on the internet, and then I just say it sucks because but not give it any effort to it.
Yeah.
So I think Jim Cornette sucks just because I seen clips that I didn't like, or someone told me I didn't like it.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just saying,
Cool.
I just don't like his attitude. I for someone who loves the business.
You're hearing it secondhand, though.
Sure,
You're not
and
hearing it firsthand.
You fall in that trap a lot too, where you hear things secondhand and don't actually watch it and shit all over it.
Like what?
NXT 2.0,
Yeah, what I watched is not good.
but you just re-listen to what Jim Cornette says he doesn't like about pro wrestling,
You don't
and then
have
you
to
don't
see
like
a
it.
person wrestle and know their name's dumb.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
pick a dumb name.
Sure, but I'm saying a lot of your secondhand stuff that you're hearing, you don't actually watch the product. You just hear Jim Cornette say it's terrible, and then you jump on the bandwagon.
But it is terrible.
But you didn't watch it.
But what I did see is terrible. Now I don't watch every week, obviously.
There you go.
You
But what he did
who
watch
says
was
it's
terrible.
good? Yeah,
What you watched? Like 4 months ago when it first turned.
yeah.
2.0?
I watched
Sure.
him. What's her name doing the terrible spot with
You seen a clip of it.
Nikita, and
Yeah.
and I watched
Mhm.
one match and I was like, ooh.
But you know, people.
But
just,
I don't like
people
Jim
listen to
Jim Cornette does not like Orange Cassidy. I love Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
You know?
had connections with them, and you've actually seen them work.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you.
but I don't mind the gimmick though. I
Yeah.
don't think it's destroying the business. You know?
Sure. Absolutely.
I mean, I agree with Jim a lot
but
of
there's
things,
an
but I also
entire
disagree a
there's
lot
an
of things.
entire culture of pro wrestling fans who only listen to that podcast
Yeah,
and think he's complete
There's
gospel.
like 6 people that do that.
I think there's a lot more than 6.
but a lot of them fans don't watch anything. So if they want to do that, go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, it's that
But
culture is a bunch
but-
of people who just don't watch wrestling.
And,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are the most vocal people on the internet wrestling community.
Yeah, but do you ever see them hardcore WWE fans that are vocal on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, the door
Where-
swings both ways here.
Yeah, where another Cesaro's in AEW, another WWE reject. Them people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just as big.
they exist as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's all angles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think just another person who just looks to tear everyone down in the business because they don't do certain thing in his scope.
I think he has great views. I really do. At times
don't.
he thinks he has great views, but he also has a very old school mind and mentality. When
and
it
he's
comes
playing
to
a
watching
character,
it.
and he
He
knows,
does.
and he
Right.
knows his
Yeah.
Very much
audience.
part of it.
Yeah.
Too,
Yeah,
That's a big part of it.
So
not my kind of character.
okay.
I'd rather watch.
Different strokes, different folks.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you have to agree. I'm just saying I don't like him.
That's okay.
All right, Brian.
So Kanyon went to a WCW show at the Meadowlands with his uncle, who was making fun of him for liking this wrestling crap. And then he watched Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat, and he was a fan.
Wow.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Mhm.
Kanyon was or at this point, just Chris was a prolific high school athlete himself. He went to college upstate at the University of Buffalo, and he played rugby there, and he graduated with a degree in physical therapy. In 1992, he trained as a wrestler. I would have thought New York, Queens, probably. I was thinking he was going to be a Rods guy. No, He was at the Lower East Side Wrestling Gym with the head trainer Bobby Bold Eagle. He also got some training later from Alpha, the Wild Samoan.
Okay.
And also very briefly, and I guess they told him he had to work her and act like he knew nothing, and she figured it out like within like that day. He trained very briefly with the Fabulous Moolah just to get bookings.
I think I heard that he did stuff with the Samoans for a bit.
Yeah,
Like maybe
fairly
that Dark Side of
briefly.
the Ring, they had photos together
Yeah.
or something.
And he also was very friendly with somebody who was trained fully by the Samoans, Billy Kidman.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
And so he makes his debut in 1992 as Chris Morgan. That's his middle name. And before going to Chris Kanyon with a C. And then very quickly he was Chris Kanyon, then the Canyons with a K. He wrestled occasionally in the early 90s and in the mid 90s while still working as a physical therapist. He did get through I believe AFA, some work as an enhancement guy in the WWF because he was a big guy. He was pretty tall. He was in good
He had
shape.
size, yeah.
So he was a physical therapist,
Yes.
licensed physical therapist.
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that about
Yeah.
him.
In fact, he's like, I what am I doing? I went from making 70 grand a year as a physical therapist to making
Yeah.
$40 a night wrestling.
Chasing that dream,
Yeah.
baby.
And imagine him in the halls of the like in the bingo halls or wherever he was before he hit it big. Excuse me, something doesn't feel right here. Can you help me?
Here's the thing about indie wrestling in the 90s. When you made it to the bingo hall, you made it big.
Okay.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah. That
Wasn't much
bingo,
bigger to
that,
go.
that bingo
No.
hall was a destination.
really?
Yeah. Maybe there were other bingo halls that weren't as important, but that one,
Yeah.
you made it when you
Definitely,
got there.
A good mindset though. He could have like after. I mean, obviously not, but like after he transitioned out of the business, he easily could have been a trainer for years. Like
Mhm.
that, it makes sense
Yeah.
mindset wise. Following,
We could've-
I didn't know he just had that medical background.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
didn't
awesome.
either.
And a few people took a liking to him pretty quickly. Diesel, the 123 Kid, and Tony Gurria. Tony Gurria,
My
who was
mom's
working.
boyfriend.
Yeah. Possibly Andy's father.
Yeah. How about that?
Took a liking to him. Well, Gurria played rugby in New Zealand, and I guess they had that shared interest because he played rugby in college.
When I hear like people from other high schools in America play like rugby or field hockey, I'm like, what country did you go to
Wait,
school?
Field
Wait,
hockey.
my
I mean,
nep-
if like a guy plays field hockey.
No, just because I'm so used
in
to our
general.
coal region
Wait.
towns
Yeah.
Not
not
having
having
that. They don't have field
baseball.
hockey there?
baseball.
No.
Yeah, no.
Really?
My
Yeah.
nephew played it up in played for Millersville actually.
Field
as a
hockey
league.
was big where I grew up, but it was exclusively a
Played
girls'
rugby.
sport.
That
Don't
is.
they have another name for field hockey?
Lacrosse.
Yeah.
No,
That's
field hockey
different.
is completely
Well, it's
different.
it's a different sport, but
Field hockey
people
is
do.
usually a girl's. It's just that little
when
hook
I
and then the
Okay.
ball.
when I
Same
went
hook.
when I went to high school, we had a girls' field hockey team. That was it. And a friend of mine liked playing hockey, and then we didn't have an ice hockey team. He really wanted to play hockey.
Yeah.
He's like, "Can I sign up for the field hockey team?" I was like, "Yeah, but you got to wear a skirt." He's like, "Fine, I'll wear a skirt, whatever. I want to play hockey."
Yeah.
We have football, basketball, wrestling, and
A little baseball.
Baseball.
Baseball,
baseball,
yeah.
a little
and
bit.
Yeah.
and baseball.
That's it.
I think
And then-
that's different whatever school you go to because our big things were baseball, wrestling, football. What's the other one?
I'd say football's the biggest around.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Track around
Basketball
here?
was.
Basketball.
We didn't have track. We didn't
Oh,
have track
wow.
until
Well,
a couple
track's
years
kind
ago.
of big here. We have a lot of people that are now starting to like spread out.
Yeah,
into
tracks
things
there
nationally.
as well. Tracks, I would put track in our mix, but like, and then if maybe a handful of schools in our area have a soccer program, and
Yeah, we
that's
had a
that,
soccer program.
and soccer's
yeah.
like
That's usually the kid sport.
that's usually
like
the
young
soccer's like the
kids.
odd man out sport.
I
Like,
was in
it
a
doesn't
port-
get any funding or
Our soccer was co-ed
or
until we were
or like
seniors.
water sports.
Yeah, I was in
Swimming,
a I was in a
water
pool
polo.
district. We were one of the only districts in my county that did not have a pool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So no swim team, and we also had no golf.
We also had no swim or golf.
You know what
either.
pissed me off is that kids from other schools can come to Monterey for the swimming team, but I couldn't go to another school and play soccer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they have to go to Monoy City.
Yeah, that's the good.
No, I was leaving Monterey to
Consolidation.
go to another school to
Smart.
play soccer,
Okay.
but they would all come to Monterey because a lot of schools didn't have pools.
What Brian's trying to say, they were taking
no,
the sacrifice.
they
to-
They didn't have
Wow,
diving.
you must really like swimming. You're going to Mahanoy City.
They didn't have a diving boards, and Monterey City had a diving board
Ah.
because they had a diving team.
I did not know they had a pool. How about
Yeah. So and that's the same thing. Anybody from Tri Valley, if you wanted to swim or dive, you had to go to North Schuylkill.
that? There you go for the terribly local sport.
There you go.
You can
Local
cross
sports
you can
update.
cross
Yes.
sports. You can cross sports all over the place, but you just couldn't cross soccer. But like, so when I hear someone like field hockey, I'm like, man, that would never fly in our area. Like field hockey or lacrosse or none of that.
They would have loved to have you at Tri Valley because they were begging kids to play soccer.
But even like like a local school around here, like their soccer program is fantastic. They like their kids go to England every year during the off season.
Wow.
And their program has
That
been
must
like
be money there.
undefeated for years. But if the football team, who hasn't won 2 games like in the last 4 years, want the field, soccer program has to fuck off.
Yeah, that's
And their
That's-
soccer program is like the most dominant in the area.
My team's soccer team was so small, we had to do a co-ed. There weren't enough boys,
Yeah,
but there was
so
a handful of girls.
We
that
were
Yeah.
we
played
were
soccer.
co-ed soccer until my senior year in 2005. So it was boy and girl soccer.
So,
Yeah.
back to Chris Kanyon. In addition to doing the WCW stuff or the WWE stuff at this point, he did a few things with, speaking of Jim Cornette, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Jim Cornette's home promotion, and he also worked some lower on the card on some ECW shows. I think he was using like a hockey player gimmick at this
Oh,
point,
wow.
and including a set of TV tapings in 1994 at the Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Hey,
There we go.
And then he also used the hockey player gimmick in USWA.
Could have tagged with the goon.
Yeah.
Chris Kanyon on skates would be scary.
oh my God, yeah.
And he
Skates add another like
2 inches, 3
3
inches.
inches. To
Yeah.
more.
And he was already what, like 6'7"?
No, he was like 6'4".
6'4", 6'5", probably.
something
I always thought he was bigger.
He was really tall.
But I also watched when I was a kid.
Yeah, he looked super tall.
Yeah, he looked big.
And he was going to go to USWA with the hockey player gimmick. It was going to be there was going to be a team called like Power Play, but his partner never
Love
showed up
that.
to Memphis, and they were going to have Billy Kidman be his partner. Bill Dundee, this is super ironic. Bill Dundee looked at Billy Kidman, was like, he's too small.
I was just gonna say, can you imagine
Bill
the height
Dundee's like
difference on that?
5'7".
I know Bill Dundee is small.
Bill Dundee is probably like 5'7".
They were team later on.
That still would
They
have worked
were?
as a hockey
They
team.
were in the same group.
They were in a group together. Yeah.
They weren't a team.
Still would have worked as a hockey
They were
team.
Canyon and Bill.
Kidman,
And Kidman,
The
and
Flock.
Kidman,
not Bill Dundee, Billy Kidman,
Billy
Canyon
Kidman.
was never officially in the flock.
He was a Flock member.
very briefly.
In
Was
the,
he?
in the
Very,
WCW
very
NWO video game, he's as
Oh,
Morbius,
that's how-
and
yes.
he's in the stable as the Flock.
No, he was very briefly at the end of the flock.
Yeah.
Very.
In the video
I was
game,
gonna
he's
say, I
in the
don't remember
stable.
him in the flock at all because it was a storyline they turned on him.
I don't remember. I just remember in the video
Sandman
game.
was there for a hot minute
I just
too.
remember in the
That
video
was
game.
not the flock. That was
Yeah.
post flock.
I just remember in the video game, Chris Canyon
Oh,
was
okay.
a Flock. He was in the Flock block.
Oh wow.
The flock
The
block.
Flock
Flock
Block.
Block.
He had that flock block and beat.
Yeah.
That's a new faction name. Flock Block.
Oh god.
I don't want to talk about the Ravens flock that much.
Why? I liked Ravens Flock. That was the only thing that almost got me into WCW.
Aside from Raven and Kidman, let's not count Cannon. There's nothing there.
Well, the Raven and DDP story.
Oh, yeah, I mean that's cool. I mean, but that could have just been Raven and
Yeah.
DDP. I mean, the flock people weren't too good.
And so Wolfie D, which is funny because he is the partner of Bill Dundee's son, JC Ice. He kept telling Kanyon, go to WCW, they'll hire you. And he winds up going and kind of getting kicked out by Eric Bischoff's assistant. But he was persistent and he tracked down Jody Hamilton, who was one of the agents back then, who was the assassin.
An assassin.
Yeah, he was he was the assassin in WCW, but he was one of the assassins. It was a tag team. He was also the Flame in Alabama.
Ooh.
And he was also referee Nick Patrick's father. And he finally gets a contract for some per appearance dates from Jody Hamilton. He also won Jody Hamilton over. He's like, well, the dates I'm not booked for, can I still come in and work out? And that showed he had a work ethic, and Jody Hamilton took a liking to him. His first prominent role, he did some job matches. His first prominent role, they would still mostly lose. He was in a tag team called Men at Work with Mark Starr and sometimes Mike Winter, but it was always Chris Kanyon. And they were just like handymen. They would come out with like tool belts on and hard hats and construction vests.
But did they
And
get it from the
jeans.
movie Men at Work?
Probably the theme song.
Probably
the song from the 80s.
The music
Yeah.
group, Land Down Under people. And my favorite spot they would do as Men at Work is they would have somebody down and Kanyon would take out a tape measure and measure the distance from the guy to the turnbuckle. And then he would get up and do a moonsault, but he would always miss because he took too much time measuring the moonsault and the guy recovered. Great spot.
I'm
Great
into it.
spot. In 1996,
You know who wouldn't have liked it?
Jim Cornette would have loved it. Don't even say it.
Yeah.
Because you know why?
Because I think it happened in his Fed.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because it is a heel. They were heels. It is a heel who is dicking around and doing something he shouldn't be doing, and then he pays the price for it. He would like it. It makes sense. It makes sense.
It does make sense. It's not. I can't think of anything offhand. Like, I'm going to do this in a minute. It doesn't make sense. Oh, in a ladder match, when you knock the guy down and then you don't go up and get the belt. You ever seen when they do that? I'm like, why is he?
But bringing a tape measure into a match, into a wrestling ring.
But it was part of his gimmick.
Because he
Okay.
was being foolish and he paid the price for it. He got his comeuppance. And in 1996, the Men at Work thing is phasing
The
out.
blade cuts two ways. When it goes in, it goes out.
Wait, what?
Just talking to Austin. Go ahead. You're good.
In 1996, he was repackaged as Mortis. Mortal Kombat was very big at this point, and Eric Bischoff loved martial arts. He had a martial arts background, so he wanted to do like this whole fighting thing based on Mortal Kombat. So you had Glacier, who had vignettes advertising him debuting for about 32 years.
Yeah, Glacier is coming.
I think he was first coming when Whipper Billy Watson was the champion.
So he was Veer Mahan before Veer
Yes.
Veer Mahan.
Oh,
was
yeah.
Veer Mahan.
Absolutely. And this is dumb. Jim Cornette would hate this. This is dumb. Do you remember when they were like, our world is about to change? Because that was always the Glacier thing. Our world is about to change.
And snow.
And snow. And they were like, our world is about to change again. And the announcer's like, oh no, stop. He's
Yeah.
not coming back. He's not. And then he came back for a minute and he sold the gimmick to Kaz Hayashi, this
Yeah.
Japanese wrestler.
And then he was Glacier. That was
He
pretty
was
stupid.
Glacier.
His gear was cool.
It was cool, yeah.
And there was one time, I think they had him come back just as Glacier for a little bit. There was one time he came back and somebody was just getting the shit kicked out of him in the ring. And Glacier's music hits for the save, and he just comes out and just does all his kung fu moves and then leaves and doesn't try to help the guy.
Glacier made a Chikara appearance too.
Yeah.
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 And,
I
the
used-
snow may or may not have been mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes.
I used him in the video game because he did a super kick.
Yeah, the cryonic kick.
Yeah.
It
The
was pretty
cryonic
cool because
kick,
it was one of the first moves where you do it and then you get to watch it for a little bit, rather
Yeah.
than just it happens immediately.
Mhm.
And he was also part of Cody's posse for a lot of things.
Yeah.
When he won the NWA title at All In.
Yeah.
So Mortis is going to be Glacier's foil, the villain.
Mortis had such a cool look too. I always
It was
I loved
like
him
it
as a
was
kid.
like Sub-Zero and Reptile.
I was gonna say,
Skeletor.
was he after
lot.
like was he trying to be modeled after Reptile?
I would say Reptile.
Yeah, because obviously clearly Glacier was Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even in the first appearance, he was Mortal Kombat 3 Sub-Zero, so much so that they sued and then he changed his look a little bit.
Wow.
Didn't
He even had the scar on his face.
Yeah, didn't he also like his font was very Mortal Kombat font for Glacier, and they made the change.
It probably was.
Yeah.
It was like, let's see how close we can get
Yeah.
without getting ripped off.
Also loved more. Well, how did he go? I always called him Morbius.
Mortis.
Mortis.
Mortis,
Yeah, I always called it when I was a kid. I was like, I'm being Morbius. I don't know why I added more to it, but Mortis because his gear looked sick
Then he
in the
has a
video
Little
game.
Tony running around.
And the flatliner.
Yeah, his character looked awesome. Never watched him wrestle a single match.
He didn't miss
Just-
a whole lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it is with the gimmick. He did the first his flatliner was the Simone drop off the second rope, I think it was.
Now, I
And
only-
then
I
you had
think
the-
meant Glacier didn't. Kanyon was very good.
Yeah.
Like I've seen like during the dark side when they showed clips. I said I didn't watch WCW.
yeah,
And once again, if the only thing you ever known as Kanyon is his WWE run, when
Which was
when they
not
made
the
him
best.
when they make
Yeah.
him look like a fucking asshole.
We're nowhere near Kanyon, the pinnacle of Kanyon's career.
Yeah, but I'm
coming.
so when the clips you've seen on Dark Side of the Ring, like obviously documentaries are gonna pick awesome clips, but
Mhm.
he looked like he was decent in the ring, and he
Oh,
was
he
kind of
oh yeah,
and he was
was.
ahead of his time for
Yeah,
his size.
he later got and they used this for Nova and ECW. He got the tag, the innovator of offense, because he would come out just like very unique.
Yeah.
When I was talking about somebody not being very good, I meant Glacier.
yeah.
Glacier was very one dimensional. Kanyon was very good.
Yeah, like his flatliner move. No one was really doing that. Sure, somebody in Japan was. That's like a reverse Russian leg sweep,
Mhm.
where you take the face bump, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Ninja Jerk's like, yoink.
Yep.
I'll take that.
So then this is also when Kanyon reunites with James Mitchell, who
Mhm.
was James Vandenberg at this point, later the Sinister Minister in ECW. They had first met in, I believe, I think even before Smoky Mountain or around Smoky Mountain, because James Mitchell was in Smoky Mountain as Daryl Van Horn. Before we went on the air, we were talking about him just summoning a mummy, Prince Karis.
Yeah.
By his incantation chant was just the most vile things you would ever hear incarnate. Drezeeping Keysons and things like that. Yeah.
That's funny.
And this is all like very conservative. This is all like after the 700 Club in rural Tennessee.
Well, nobody knew.
But it's a mummy, and sand came out of the mummy.
They cut his thumb off and Sam would come out. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That was in Jim Cornette's company.
Hey,
too.
if I was a little
Cornette
kid, I would
hated
have
it.
loved that.
He
I would
hated
love
it.
that.
Christmas creature, but that was USW.
That was USWA. Yeah. So then mental illness did creep in, and he even attacked James Mitchell a few times, wrecked his car. They did talk about that a lot in Dark Side of the Ring. He did, Kanyon did suffer from very badly from bipolar disorder, manic depression, whatever you want to call it.
Well, how much? I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that it's his huge catalyst for his mental health, but like, obviously like hiding who you truly are.
Yeah.
Your sexuality is not going to help either.
Absolutely. And he was raised in athletic circles in New York City
Yeah,
in the 70s and
Wasn't
80s.
he also Catholic? Wasn't there
He
something
may
with
have been,
Catholic
yeah, or he may have been
there?
like Orthodox. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Well, in that Dark Side episode, when he crashes his car, isn't he having like
he's having a breakdown. Yeah.
doesn't he think that like people are coming to get him?
Yeah. He's having like
Yes.
paranoid delusions.
So then
yeah.
it does sound like it's like a guilt kind of thing
Yeah.
that could be channeling that from just.
Well, I mean,
hiding.
if you look at the culture of the time when he was in wrestling, like
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
90s and early 2000s, it was openly good in pop culture to hate on gay people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was
it was
like,
a part of comedy.
it was part
Mhm.
of comedy. If you were gay, you were considered lesser than or not equal to, and being the connotation of being gay was being considered negative.
Yeah, it would not even just comedy, just like normal like kids and like people or just any human would just naturally use gay
of the
slurs.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. And if that's all you're consuming is that you can't be that, and then on top of it you have mental health issues, and you think that everyone in your business is attacking you for it, and then he was pretty much attacked for it when he goes to another company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird though, because like some gay guys, like Jim Barnett was openly gay and he was accepted. So it's weird how
Yeah.
Who?
Jim Barnett.
Jim Barnett he
Oh, I thought you said
ran.
Cornette. I was like,
No, Jim Barnett.
Yeah, Barnett and Pat Patterson.
Yeah.
But I mean, they didn't. They were
There were a
open
few
to their.
others. Too.
They were open
Yeah.
to their community, but they weren't like.
They weren't out in public.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, but I mean, like
They still
everyone
had to
knew,
hide away,
Here's
yeah.
Pat's partner,
Yeah.
Louis. You
Yeah,
know?
like, but everybody in wrestling knew. Everybody in wrestling.
But both of those, and I'm not trying to like discredit them, but like they were both people in power. And,
That's-
Pat
yeah.
Patterson, when he was a wrestler, not so much. I mean, he kind of came in and was in the San Francisco territory where you could be openly gay. in
yeah,
San
I mean, of all
Francisco.
places, yeah.
And I mean, not without fear of reprisal. I mean, look at Harvey Milk. But,
sure, yeah.
But yeah, like it was a bad time. It was a bad time for just to be gay in America.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm. Sucks.
yeah.
Which is why, and like a lot of people are like, why do we have pride? Like it's important. It's important
because
to.
of things
Well, yeah,
like that.
especially because it's not going to be too far from now when people are going to try to take the rights away again. So,
Yeah, and
yeah,
there's
let's keep it
still
in mind.
people that think like how they did in the 70s and the
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a legislative guy now trying to pass it for the Supreme Court to overturn gay marriage.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
the
And gay- and gay rights.
it's a guy on the Supreme Court.
Yeah, he's like openly saying, "I'm coming for that next."
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
next.
That's ridiculous.
Gay marriage is next. That's
it's,
next.
it's,
on the
it's
line.
sickening.
We're going back 20 years, or not even 20 years, more than
50.
that.
Yeah.
So Mortis gets a partner here. Glacier works a lot with Ernest the Cat Miller, who was a karate champion, and Mortis gets Wrath, who was formerly
Brian
Adam
Clark.
Bomb, Brian Clark.
They're trying to build a roster to maybe get a game out of
Yeah.
this, like because Mortal Kombat. So we need a couple guys. So this will be our Mortal Kombat group.
And it didn't really fly, so they wound
Wait,
up.
he was Wrath.
Brian
Clark was Wrath.
Yeah.
he was.
The other one was Crush,
Brian Adams was Crush.
Chronic.
Yeah,
Brian Clark was the one with the goatee, or the full goatee, or not the goatee.
He was Night Stalker
Yeah.
in USWA.
I'm trying to find like his gear as Wrath. Oh, it looked very similar to Adam Bomb. It was just like a sig.
Yeah, it was
It was
kinda
more
big.
black and gray or black and white. Yeah.
A big dude, but he didn't really have that much charisma. He wasn't that good in the ring, but he looked great.
I loved him as Adam Bomb.
I mean, yeah, Iron Bomb looked cool. Looked really cool.
Adam Bomb and Crush were dope looking.
Crush a little bit better in the ring.
I loved Crush when I was
Yeah.
a kid.
Yeah.
Loved Crush.
Yeah, Crush is dope.
But shortly after that, around 1998, they were a team for a while, and then they kind of phased out all those guys. Glacier, Ernest Miller became more of like a comedy guy who would dance around.
Yeah.
He was the original "Somebody Better Call My Mama" guy.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, were you a fan of this Crush?
No, he
Or were
was
you a
he was
fan-
a bad guy.
No,
or
Kona
this
Crush.
Crush.
That
Kona
Crush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the Crush
Kona
right there.
Crush, yeah.
I think he got Demolition Crush too, but that was shortly.
Dude, look at that
When-
mullet, my
When
guy.
when that Crush dropped Randy Savage across the guardrail, that Crush could go fuck himself.
Yeah.
Face paint Crush, no.
And then
Look-
there was also
Looking like he's sponsoring a sports drink Crush.
Yeah.
Yes.
there's another Crush when he goes to jail.
Yeah.
Clarence Mason bails him out and he joins the Nation Domination. He has braids.
We
and
may
a
talk about-
tattoo on his
Dude,
face.
fucking me and Crush are on it.
We may talk about Clarence Mason here in a second.
There we go.
Dude, I want a Crush t-shirt. Where can I find that?
Nowhere.
I'll find
You
it.
can make one of your own and put it on TeePublic.
I'm gonna find one. Boom.
So
T-Public on T-Public.
there you go.
Dude, and it's the fucking
Crush
Hang
the
10.
wrestler.
Yeah, daddy. That's coming home. Actually, I like this one more. Hold on.
I wonder what the original. I bet he had a shirt back in the day.
The pineapples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that one better.
That's good.
And I like that it's purple.
Oh, well,
Looks
you can
like
get it in any
WCW.
color.
Crush once wrestled at a local high school near me, in between the Demolition Crush run and the Kona Crush
Oh
run.
wow.
Yeah. He was the Pacific Northwest Wrestling Champion, and when TWA, which was ECW before it was ECW, was around, they would run at a high school by me. And if I would have stayed in that neighborhood, it would have been high school I would have went to.
Yeah.
And
It's so insane to me that all these shirts are on TeePublic, but like our logos will be getting taken off.
yeah,
Yeah, but like well, I guess WWE is like, well, we don't need copyright and Crush anymore.
yeah.
Bullshit.
I think it was Crush against like Billy Jack Haynes for the Pacific Northwest title. But so Mortis, after him and Wrath break up, he asks to join Raven's flock in 1998. But they say first you have to beat DDP for the U.S. title, and he couldn't do it. He came up short. So like, nope, you're out. You can't join the flock. So then DDP is against Raven because that's the big feud in a Bowery death match, which was a weapons cage match. And a riot guard, Raven has riot guards with him, and one of them gets in the ring and starts attacking the flock, handcuffing them to
It's
the
Rick
cage.
Rude.
And he takes off his ride helmet, and it's Mortis. He has the Mortis mask under it, and he takes off the Mortis mask. And they had him just as a concession guy that had attacked people, and it's like, that's a concession guy that beat up the flock on Nitro. But this is him just getting rid of the mask and becoming Kanyon.
Mhm.
And so he allies with Perry Saturn, who was exiled from the flock for a little bit, but
I forgot
Swerve,
Saturn was there. Yeah.
Swerve, Saturn, he turns on Saturn and does very briefly join the flock until Saturn beats Raven in Fall Brawl, and the condition of the match is the flock has to then disband. But he still stays with Raven, and this is when you get Raven, you find out like more of his backstory. Like he has this rich family in
Yeah.
Florida, he lives at this really fancy house.
That's when Sandman comes in. he's
Sandman
hacked.
comes in as his buddy Hardcore Hack, and that was when Chastity came in as a sister until they fired Chastity because they found that, she
That
was
makes
in a
sense for
porn.
Raven because he's like a grunge kid, and you're like,
Yeah.
you're fucking rich.
He's
What
this
are you-
mopey grunge kid who's just like he goes back to live with his rich parents. Yeah.
I didn't know that was a character. I love
Yeah.
that. I fucking love that.
And apparently they had a whole thing where it's like obsessed with Roddy Piper because they were talking about doing a feud with Raven and Piper, and then Raven just quit the company because Eric Bischoff, he did a whole thing. It was around a time where he's like, the only people in this locker room, and Ric Flair's in there, the only people in this locker room who ever drew a dime are Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Roddy Piper. And like you saying all this stuff, he's like, if anybody doesn't like what I'm saying, I'll give you your release. And Raven's like, I'll take my release. and he went back to ECW.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before that, they were a duo, and this is very sad. Kanyon kind of disappeared for a little bit because he said he had depression, and he was leaving WCW for a bit. It was a cover because this was Kanyon getting into the movies a little bit. This was shortly after Jesse Ventura became governor of Minnesota, and they're doing a movie about Jesse Ventura, and we need a guy to get a stunt man to be the body. And he was the stunt man who helped the wrestlers or the actors learn how to wrestle a little bit. And if it was a big bump, it would probably be Kanyon with a bald cap on as Jesse Ventura taking it himself. But he comes back and he's a heel, and he's with DDP, who is also now a heel. And this is when he, DDP, and Bam Bam Bigelow form the Jersey Triad,
Mhm.
even though Kanyon was from New York.
Yeah, well,
It's
it's like
it's
next
like-
month.
skip, and a jump.
That's like New York's basement.
Yeah, at least the north part.
Yeah.
It's Philly's attic, and then it's New York's basement.
Yeah.
They kind of touch.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, so they had like the Freebird rule where any of the three could be in the team that night, and they had the tag team titles for a while. And then they revoked the Freebird rule, and Kanyon and Bigelow lost the titles to Harlem Heat. And Kanyon left shortly thereafter again because he was getting another movie role. And here's a movie. I'm going to tell you a movie you will love. This will be one of your favorite movies ever, Tony. Ready to Rumble,
Yep.
the
Oh, I've seen it.
WCW movie.
I watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all right.
Prince or King
Jimmy King.
Jimmy King.
The
Does,
King.
does not age well.
I can imagine. That came out what 97?
Yeah.
Six?
So there's a spot in the movie with Sting where going back to the 90s where gay's not good.
Yeah.
And there's a part in the movie where he's like, bros hug each other, and Sting just doesn't look like I don't hug dudes or something like that. Like he kind of
Oh, Sting's too cool to hug, dude.
yeah.
Like AJ, I have a proposal for you, Matt Sydal. Not that kind of proposal.
Yeah.
That was an ROH.
or when he was on a podcast, AJ was on like an early podcast. They were like, "What do you think about your status as an icon in the gay community?" He goes, "The gay community."
yeah.
Yeah, that's
That like blew his mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see Ready to Rumble. I've seen that multiple
I'm surprised you don't love that movie. It has such like 10th grade humor.
Yeah, like
times. When I seen it when I
Doing
was
pee-pee jokes like left and
Shocking.
right.
when I was a kid, I liked it. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I am either.
I know John Cena's in it.
He is.
He's in the gym scene. He's in,
Oh,
when there's a
okay.
scene where they're all in the gym and John Cena's in there working out.
That was the basis of the triple cage, which then they're like, let's put that in real wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he comes back from filming this big Hollywood movie, he did stunts again, and he was also the main character was Jimmy King, who was played by an actual actor, Oliver
I
Platt,
think he appeared on Nitro once.
and he was the stunt double and did a lot of the wrestling scenes. And then he returns as Chris Champagne Canyon, the Hollywood big shot. He has
Now,
like
do you think, like, because obviously back then too, if you got something like that and the boys thought they deserved it, they probably fucking blackballed you. You know what I mean? Like
he was.
I mean,
You never
some
heard about Canyon having a lot of heat.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean,
Not
honestly, it was like-
there. Maybe in WWE.
yeah.
But
oh, they on a whole roster they can get to do a movie. They pick Canyon and not this guy. Like,
I mean, sure, some guys thought that. It all depends if they like.
I'm
the
sure
guy
some
or
guys
not.
are like, I'm not making any extra money for that. I don't want.
Yeah, some guys would be like, yeah, I'm doing all that. Fuck
Yeah.
that.
Well, because most guys had actual roles, like big guys had roles as themselves in the movie as actors. Canyon had to be.
there was a lot of people who had to who were in. I remember we pretty much called it the WCW movie.
Yeah, that's
It
what it was.
really-
It literally was.
If it, yeah,
It was
so the
New
main
Line
character
Cinema,
was
which
fake.
was owned by Turner.
Yeah.
It was the only fake people were the promoter guy who was
The-
Joe Pantoliano from The Sopranos,
The King
and
like
the King,
Yeah,
and that was the main guy. That was Oliver Platt, and a lot of the wrestling scenes, it's Chris Canyon. And
I forgot Rose McGowan's in it.
yeah, she's the Nitro girl.
Yeah, Goldberg, Diamond Dallas Page,
There's a lot of
Yeah.
the time.
Sting.
Sting. Yeah, there's a lot of them. But the Champagne Canyon thing was great. He was a Hollywood big shot. He had two girls on his arm. There was Chameleon and Nitro Baby. There were two Nitro girls. And then he had an agent, Jay Biggs, who was Clarence Mason.
Oh yeah, how about that?
He was like a very Johnny Cochran inspired lawyer. Get it, Clarence Thomas,
Yeah.
Perry Mason.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
And he came out right when the OJ trial was big.
yeah. So it's very like Johnny Cochran inspired. And he had a very short-lived run because Vince Russo was around, and Vince Russo liked Canyon. And when Vince Russo was pulled and they brought back Kevin Sullivan, they yanked Canyon off of TV because Kevin Sullivan was not that big of a fan of Chris Canyon.
Just real quick, some of the stars that were in it. Bam Bam Bigelow,
Mhm.
Juventud Guerrero, Kurt Hennig,
Why don't we do this as a topic one day?
Billy
that would
Kidman,
mean you have to watch Running the World.
Yeah.
You don't wanna do
Billy
that.
Kidman, Conan, Rey Mysterio, Perry
Conan.
Saturn, Randy Savage, Booker T, Sid Vicious.
Basically, the whole WC roster.
This almost
except
sounds like
Hogan.
We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy
Yeah.
Joel. Randy Savage, Booker T.
Gene Okerlund, Tony Schiavone,
But that's
Siobhan.
figure it out.
Charles Robinson, Michael
Bill
Buffer.
Nage.
Well, the movie's called Ready to Rumble, so Buffer had to be in it.
Martin Landau was in that movie.
John Cena, Jim Rat, uncredited.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Yeah. Chris Canyon, fan in the crowd.
Yeah.
Wow, so
That's-
John Cena was really typecasted already.
Yeah, as a Jim Rat.
Yep.
Yeah. The only reason I know that is
that would
because
have been
there
his
was
wrestling
like
debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
that-
his
that-
movie debut, technically.
it was one of those things where it's like, well, that's what he wanted to do is become
He wanted to be an
He
actor.
was an actor. Yeah. But
He took a 20-year side.
that was like, you know,
Yeah.
like John Cena appeared in WCW and they're like, and they show like the scene. It was like a TikTok or something. And then they see him in the gym.
That's like Charlotte's first pay-per-view was a WCW one from like '92.
yeah.
Starcade 93.
Yeah.
Rick
Ringside
Flair's-
and in the house, right? Because
Yep.
they do a skit in the
Yeah.
house and then she's ringside.
Yeah, like Okerlund takes a limo ride with Flair to the arena, and
Baby Charlotte.
they go in there. And it's like David is there, and Reed and Charlotte, and they just kind of stand around.
Charlotte
like-
looks like a Children of the Corn.
yeah, and they're all like kind of nervous, and they get the limo, and he's like, they're scared, Gene,
Yeah.
because no, it is a great story because
It is.
like it's Ric Flair in his hometown putting his career on the line for one last shot of the title against a literal monster.
Yeah, and he doesn't know if he could beat Vader.
And then because they show Vader showing up, like, yeah, it's tough. And he's like, just,
Is that the poster you have autographed?
no, that was Super Bowl. That was a rematch. But yeah, and then Vader's like running up and down the steps and just beating the shit out of people.
Brian does not buy anything
I'm cheap.
unless it's substance to keep him alive. And we were at PPW, and he's just like, I don't even know why you look through it because you don't even bother. Like
Yeah.
you just look, you're like, cool. And he went through the autograph posters, and he sees it's an autograph
Super Brawl 4, Ric Flair,
Ric
versus
Flair
Vader, yeah.
and Vader autographed poster, and he's just like,
and that is cool.
yeah.
I
I
had
was like,
to get a crowbar out to pry the wallet open.
and all
yeah.
the moths fly out.
I was like, I was looking like, are you sure? And he goes, shut up. Don't talk me
Yeah.
out of it. I need to own this. It's a really cool poster. Yeah. It's not a full size. It's like a
It's
Like
pretty
an
decent size.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a movie poster.
Yeah.
8x10.
It's
It's a little bigger than 8x10. Yeah.
It's like a poster you would put up on a wall.
Also 11x17.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really
It's
sick.
like legal paper.
Super sick.
And then the Champagne Canyon thing doesn't last. He does come back when Russo returns in the spring of 2000. And he's back with DDP's buddy. And they do a triple cage match because the movie's actually coming out now. They had filmed it before. And this is when David Arquette is your WCW World Champion.
What is it? War Games where Sid almost breaks someone's neck?
Yeah.
Or was that
because
the
the roof was too low?
Yeah.
Or was that a triple cage match?
No,
That was War
War Games. He goes to powerbomb Brian Pillman and he's like, oh, and he hits him off the cage and he doesn't know what to do, so he just drops him.
Right on his head.
On
Yeah.
his fucking head.
I was like, ooh.
And then they had to
Sick.
stop the match because Pillman was legitimately knocked out.
He was fucked up from that because it was a double. It was like, blurp, blurp.
A double hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's with DDP and the match. This is David Arquette comes into this match as a WCW champion.
And wasn't there a weird thing? You had to like climb up a cage, climb in through a cage, and go in
They
another
had
cage.
3 cages. The first cage was the size of a Hell in a Cell, and then above that cage, and there was like a trap door where you can climb up to the second cage, and above that cage was a normal size steel cage, and then above that cage was a small cage, like
Bro.
a little bigger than a shark cage.
What if we
That's
put a cage
terrifying.
on a cage?
And then
So imagine how high they were at Blood and Guts, and then add another cage.
well,
on top.
that Hell in a Cell type cage wasn't that tall.
Oh, it's still
like
high.
that cage of Blood and Guts was probably like the top of that cage would probably been the top of the second cage.
yeah.
In there.
I would have shit my pants. I'd have been like, "Don't book me."
And you had to win by climbing to the top of the third cage and retrieving the WCW title.
Good on Arquette. That's fucking scary.
Yeah, because immediately, like it was Paige, Arquette, and Jeff Jarrett in the match. Arquette's defending the title, and Paige and Jarrett go at it, and Arquette starts going up because he's supposed to. And the top cage is a small cage because Jeff Jarrett has all the guitars. It was full of guitars, so he grabs the guitar and he gets to the very top because DDP's his buddy. So if Jeff Jarrett gets up there, he's going to hit him with the guitar so DDP can win. I'll give you 3 guesses to what David Arquette does in this match.
He wins.
He turns on him.
He
He
turns
turned
on
on DDP because I said Vince Russo was booking.
Yeah.
There you go.
And there's also that Hogan Savage cage match where they fight every heel in WCW.
Yes, the Doomsday
When they
Cage.
had to start at the top and work their way down.
Yeah. And then they forgot to pin Ric Flair. Like, oh, we have to
Yeah.
pin somebody. Quick,
Oh,
cover Ric Flair.
It's so bad.
DDP gets up there first. Arquette hits him with the guitar, and then Jarrett climbs up and grabs the title. It was all a big ruse to get the title off of DDP and on to Jeff Jarrett. And Kanyon comes out to try to like save the day. And Mike Awesome throws him off the first cage, the lowest cage, like the Hell in a Cell type cage. Because this is after Foley's Hell in a Cell thing. So everybody wants to do the big bump.
Mhm.
They throw him off and he lands on the stage, but it's a gimmick part of the stage it gives. And people at the time thought this was a little tasteless because this was in 2000. It was a little over a year later. It was a high bump in the same arena where Owen Hart died.
Oh.
It was in Kansas City.
Mm.
So people were a little like, maybe we shouldn't do people falling off of high things in this building.
No.
But they did. And then they had a thing where like Kanyon was in the hospital and like somebody attacks him and dumps a bedpan on him because Vince Russo.
Because it's
And don't
funny.
laugh.
Well, is that around when Austin attacked Vince?
No, that would already
Yeah.
happen.
No, like
Well,
no, that was years before.
yeah.
But Austin actually hit Vince with it. They just don't piss on the guy.
Yeah, just say, oh, it's gross. It's funny.
And he's in a wheelchair for a little bit. But Mike Awesome was the guy that threw him off the cage. So DDP is going to get revenge against Mike Awesome by having an ambulance match with him at the Great American Bash. And an ambulance match you win by putting your opponent in the ambulance. And so they're back in the ambulance. They're fighting. They open the ambulance. And Chris Kanyon comes out. Guess what Chris Kanyon does?
He turns on him
He turned on DDP.
for no
And-
reason. The Big Show should have been there. Too bad
Yeah.
Big Show wasn't still there.
Everyone has a price.
No, he just, I think it was like, you weren't there for me when I was injured or something.
You let me get pissed dumped on me.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he helped Chris Kanyon Kanyon helps.
If we're friends and I go to the hospital and someone sneaks in, beats me up, and dumps my own piss on me, we're not friends anymore. You let it happen.
Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't dump. He wasn't the dumper.
Where
of
the
piss,
fuck were you?
though.
Oh, I got piss dumped on me. My own piss.
What am I?
Yeah.
You're round the clock security?
Russo would be like, whoever dumped the piss on you, you would turn to join them.
Yeah. Mike Awesome was the guy who dumped the piss on him.
Yeah.
So
I'm more mad that you guys
So
let it happen.
he joined Mike Awesome.
Yeah, no, good for Mike Awesome for having that idea to dump piss on me. Where were my boys at?
Yeah.
I like piss.
Yeah.
Mike
Mike
Awesome's
Awesome
like-
let me learn something
Mike
about
Awesome's like,
myself.
if DDP was here, this would have never happened.
This was also around the time that Mike Awesome went from the
Uh.
career killer
Oh boy.
to the fat chick thriller to
Mhm.
that 70s guy.
Yeah.
Does that second gimmick have a T-shirt?
Probably not.
Probably on TeePublic somewhere.
Because they could come out with 2 fat girls, or sometimes be old and fat. Get it? It's funny because they're fat.
And
I also
old.
thought,
And old.
I'm
Yeah.
a fat guy. Fat dudes are funny.
this was not funny.
No,
And
it
especially when
wasn't.
Mike Awesome was really good.
He was really a believable, like legitimate.
You let a
intense
dude
heel.
come in here with 6-pack abs, and he takes his shirt off and dances. Everyone's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
and he's in good shape." I take my shirt off and dance. It's comedy gold. You know why? Because I'm fat.
Okay. But now we're both wrestlers. You're really good, and now you're doing that.
Just saying. Weight is humor.
But this,
I don't write the rules.
This-
No,
this did lead to-
You said in this example that you were dancing.
Yeah.
These people are not brought in
Dancing.
to have a
Yeah.
dance or come.
Yeah.
This is
I'm just saying the
this
aesthetics
is
of
put
the
on
weight.
to like
this is what we would call today body shaming.
yeah.
Yes.
It was put on like look at this
Unless
idiot.
it's a dude making.
How
fun
could
of
this
another
guy
dude.
possibly be attracted to a woman who is not impossibly thin?
yeah.
So
that-
is the whole
that
crux
was
of the gimmick.
the gimmick is like, oh look how weird he is because he's dating these women.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
It was
You
not.
could body shame as long as it's Adam Cole. That's the rule, right? That's what we're allowed to do.
Body shame more people than that.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean everyone gets it nowadays.
Yeah.
Or if
Somebody
you're
else,
a Cornette fan, you can body shame the Iconics. That's allowed
What?
too.
What?
Remember when he did that? When he body shamed the
I remember when
Iconics?
Meltzer said something.
Oh, it was
I
Meltzer,
remember-
wasn't Cornette. You're right. I
Yeah,
take
I
it
was
back.
like,
Not
I don't-
everything bad was something Jim Cornette did.
Most
I know
of
you're
it
on a
is.
witch hunt tonight, but
Yeah,
not
yeah.
everything bad was Jim Cornette.
I don't remember that at all.
No,
The
it was Meltzer.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah,
No,
Meltzer
that I
said-
actually do
Meltzer
remember.
said something. He wasn't being like, "Ah, look at her, she's ridiculous." He said something
She
where
gained weight.
he said that Peyton Royce obviously gained weight between NXT
Oh,
and
okay.
WWE, and he got
Really? No, I always thought she was hot, but I don't.
And she is someone who suffers like with
she does suffer from body
But I
dysmorphia.
mean, but wrestling is very
Sure.
image conscious, and if
Yeah.
someone does gain or lose weight, people are going to notice.
Absolutely.
More so than if an actor loses.
Yeah,
weight.
totally. You're both sides. You're wrestling.
Yeah, both. I
You're,
was
you're,
gonna say both
you're,
sides are
you're
just
pretty.
as
You're pretty
bad.
much wrestling in your underwear in front
Yeah.
of millions of people.
And if you drop or gain, people are going to notice.
Hey, it happened to guys, but work on your upper body, pal.
Stress.
Which,
Yeah.
which is slang for going steroids. But
It's a whole conversation of using your body to sell.
It's,
Yeah.
an,
Right.
it's an upper
Literally.
body business, brother. Heard that one.
or the Briscoes, we ain't cosmetically pleasing enough.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So this does lead to my personal favorite Chris Kanyon gimmick. DDP had recently put out a book called Positively Page.
Mhm.
It was his first autobiography. So Chris Kanyon becomes Positively Kanyon, and he wears a bad blonde wig, and he dresses up like DDP, and he starts doing the Canyon cutter, which was a diamond cutter, but he does it to everyone.
Yeah.
Like he would just be in the back, and randomly he would just have a totally unrelated segment, and then Canyon would come in and give somebody the Canyon cutter. He did the Mean Gene Okerlund.
And then go back.
He did it right into the camera and then walk off.
So it was the cutter out of nowhere.
Yeah. He did.
Oh.
He did the RK
Yeah.
out of nowhere before Randy Orton. You know those shots they would do sometimes? They still do them where they'll do a shot of the arena from way outside and be like, "Tonight's show is brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT." They did one, literally 30 feet in the background. Canyon gives somebody the Canyon cutter.
I'm YouTubing
Who
that
better than
right
Canyon?
now.
There's probably a whole a
Canyon
collage.
cutter
Compilation,
compilation,
yeah.
yeah. And then he Canyon cuttered the one lady you don't want to mess with.
Uh
He messed with Judy Bagwell.
oh.
Oh,
You don't mess with Judy Bagwell.
Former tag team champion.
Former WCW World Tag Team Champion, Judy Bagwell, the star of our Mother's Day episode a few months ago.
Mhm.
And that obviously leads to a feud with Canyon and Buff Bagwell. And that's
Save
when,
it for later.
for New Blood Rising, they called it the Judy Bagwell on a pole match because the joke was Vince Russo did everything on a pole. There was a Viagra on a pole
Yeah,
match and everything on a pole match. It was supposed to be Judy Bagwell on a pole, which, I mean, I guess that's supposed to be like if you're the person that retrieves Judy Bagwell from the pole, you're allowed to use Judy Bagwell as
It's a weapon. Yeah, that's the
But
rule.
she really wasn't on the pole.
She was on a forklift.
because she was so fat, bro, that they needed a forklift.
Why didn't they have Mike Awesome and Judy Bagwell?
Yeah, yeah. And they could have had an affair. Claire Lynch.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So
he's in catering. I want more.
are we just gonna stop the show to watch?
No,
Canyon?
no.
You got mad at us for naming people from NXT. You're stopping the show to watch a video on your phone.
Yeah.
I love it. No, you can't tell me an amazing gimmick. I want to see. I just want to see where he fucking does to the person that saw the.
I hope that it is
Yeah.
It's
accomplished.
probably
It
there
was
somewhere.
great. It was like a Thunder episode.
That's great.
So at Bash at the Beach 2000, he beats Booker T thanks to interference from Jeff Jarrett, and then later that night, Booker T wins the WCW World Title from Jeff Jarrett because that was when Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
Jarrett was a champion. He laid down for Hogan. Hogan left, like quit the company, and like that bald son of a bitch, Hulk Hogan. Like Russo just cuts a program.
And I
promo on
swear, my goddamn mother's grave, you will never see that piece of shit here ever again.
Wait, so was that like convoluted booking to cover like real life happenings or just convoluted booking?
They wanted Jarrett to win the title. Hogan did his old "that doesn't work for me, brother," and then so the bell rings and Jarrett lays down.
Okay.
And
So was Hogan legit like pissed the way it went
Yes.
down like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
he legit walked out.
And that was the last of Hogan WCW.
and
It had to be done because Hogan was just running ram shit over the company, saying like that was like I'm not saying that
Well,
was
he did have creative control.
his
he could
his,
legally say, "I don't want to lose."
his
this. I
creative
don't have to
control ruined a lot of storylines and everything in WCW.
lose." How dare a wrestler say they don't want to lose? I agree, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like he held the entire company hostage.
Yeah, I know. What a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Hold the entire company hostage because he doesn't want to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
What an asshole.
Yeah.
yeah.
No
Bret,
one else ever did that.
yeah. Bret Hart never did it.
Well, he had creative control as well.
Yeah.
There are people who did have creative control and did that. Would you like Bret Hart better if he faked an injury every 10 seconds?
I mean, who said he didn't?
When was he ever injured? Besides
Yeah.
the time he was legitimately
The
injured.
doctors in the back said he can't compete.
Bret Hart always competed.
Yeah.
It wasn't a whole storyline. WCW was like when he was a heel, like the doctors in the back.
Maybe.
So-
Oh. Well, no, he did say there's this whole. No,
Yeah.
he's like, this is a real injury, like hypnosis, psychosis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great promo. So anyway, unfortunately, after that, Russo was kind of pushed out again because he had his own injuries to deal with. And when Kevin Sullivan and the rest of the crew came back, he was kind of pushed out again. He came back in February 2001. He had a quick feud with DDP, beat him at Super Brawl, and he was starting a feud with Ernest Miller when WCW shut down. In July of 2001, he joins the Invasion, and at the Invasion pay-per-view, look at this team. It's Chris Kanyon, Hugh Morris, and Sean Stasiak defeating Big Show, Billy Gunn, and Albert.
Oh, a lot of meat in that match.
Oh,
Yeah.
my.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Kanyon and Billy Gunn. Canyon versus Billy Gunn would have been all right.
Yeah. I'm Kanyon, like, what did I do?
Yeah. yeah.
Why?
With these
There it is.
fuckers.
Yep, it's on the phone now.
Yeah, see that? He runs up.
Perfection.
And then just
Perfection.
does the taunt, that's it.
My favorite gimmicks in WCW at that point were that and Screaming Norman Smiley.
Oh, yeah.
You would love Screaming Norman Smiley. He was the hardcore wrestler that was afraid of everything.
And he would wear football pads and a
Yeah.
helmet and try and wrestle in them.
And he would just scream. Like if somebody attacked him, he would just scream and try to run away.
Sounds awesome.
He was amazing. Screaming Norman Smiley.
I think that the
incredible.
RKO or the cutter,
Canyon cutter.
Canyon cutter
Canyon
is fantastic.
It was amazing.
I just wish that app just fucking put everything in time order that you can like where you like
Oh,
watch like
Peacock.
yeah
Peacock's terrible.
where it's like hey here's my
Oh.
Nitro Thunder pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
It'd just be so much nicer to watch that way.
Even the network didn't have that.
It's terrible.
So after that, Booker T is the WCW champion and the US champion. He ended Nitro, the last Nitro, with both titles. And he just gives Kanyon the US title. Kanyon's your US champion now. And then Kanyon and DDP win the WWF tag team titles. But then they lose them in a cage match at SummerSlam.
Is Canyon your R-Truth of WCW?
No, because he was a better. I mean, not the
Like a
truth
good
isn't the
worker,
wrestler,
but funny.
he was portrayed better, and he was only funny for the end of it, really.
Okay.
Yeah. Like his one other big thing was like, who better than Kanyon? Like if he was a heel, it would scream everybody.
Yeah,
And he'd yell like, no, you're supposed to say nobody.
Yeah.
Like he was this guy who had like a lot of different things they tried with him.
yeah.
It
But-
shows like the flexibility of the character or the
Yeah.
person there.
Oh, totally.
But
And-
he wasn't like at the goofy comedy level of truth.
Yeah.
for
Now,
his whole
do, you,
run.
do you think just like because obviously I didn't watch that stuff, like was he someone like, all right, let's give him this stupid thing and let's see what happens, or was it like we can give
Well-
him this stupid thing and he'll get it over?
Well, when Russo was around, which is when he was doing the stupid stuff, everybody was doing that stupid thing.
Yeah.
There was a point where Chavo Guerrero's gimmick was he was an Amway salesman.
hmm
Not kidding.
And he also rode the horse to the ring.
Pepe was
Probably,
cool.
yeah.
I liked Pepe. That was pre-Russo. He had a horse that he thought was real and he would talk to. Like how Al Snow had head. He had
Yeah.
Pepe the horse.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And somebody threw Pepe in a wood chipper. I think it was Eddie.
Yeah, but I mean, Chris Canyon he had the ability to like where you just gave him time, he'll get it over.
To a degree, he was never super over.
Yeah, he was always like middle of the card.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
nothing against him.
That's
If he
what
was
I
doing
re-
this stuff
that's what I
today,
remember him. is
he would be
mid-card.
so over.
Oh,
Yeah.
but this was before memes were a thing.
Yeah.
This is before meme wrestling.
Oh my god, if Chris Kanyon was alive right now, doing even like he was in WWE and he just re-spoofed that and he was fake Randy Orton.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he would
just
sign
did
him.
the-
Yeah.
Oh my god, that'd be the most watched clip every week.
Yeah.
It would be honestly the replacement for the 24/7 gimmick.
Yeah.
It's just
my God.
where
Come on
are
now.
we?
Come on now. That's not at that level.
When
This
our
is
truth
far better than
had it,
24/7 stuff.
it was very entertaining because he would did
Yeah,
funny things.
yeah.
There's a difference between that and WWE comedy. That's good.
Yeah. There's bad comedy and good comedy.
When our truth had it, it worked.
Until it didn't. It
Yeah.
worked for a little bit. Our
Yeah.
Truth has incredible comedic
See, I don't
Yeah.
remember anybody being at our truth level, like at least Kanyon, like you said. But I
Yeah,
don't know,
he
in
had some
WCW,
fun
I don't,
stuff. Yeah,
I don't remember.
Our
too
Truth has
much.
very good comedic timing. I
Yeah.
can't take it.
Oh,
from him.
Santino.
Santino had incredible comedic
Oh.
Yeah,
timing, too.
Santino's probably up there too.
So Norman Smiley though was, oh my god, screaming Norman Smiley was incredible. Kanyon and DDP lose the WWF tag titles in a cage match at SummerSlam 2001, which was just a squash.
Yeah.
Undertaker was not too keen on giving WCW guys anything ever. Like he wanted to squash all the WCW. He was in that we beat them. They need to be squashed.
Yeah. We shouldn't even hire him.
Yeah.
And guess what? Most of them lost.
And then Kanyon loses the WCW US title to Tajiri on Raw on get this date, September 10th, 2001.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. One day.
On
before.
what?
September 10th
No, what on Raw?
on Raw. Yeah,
I thought Raw the next day was on.
that was a SmackDown, and it was 2 days later.
It was
Yeah.
okay. You're right.
September 10th, 2001. Yeah. But during that reign, they did win, like I said, the WWF tag team titles. They won them from the APA, lost from the Undertaker and Kane. Unfortunately, that October, Kanyon goes on the shelf with a torn ACL. He came back for a little bit in OVW in 2002, but then he had a shoulder injury and had like very bad setbacks medically with it. But then he comes back a little bit later, and this is where it gets bad. The Undertaker's feuding with the Big Show, and the Big Show has a present, and they proved. I'm going to make you happy, Tuna. They proved Jim Cornette wrong. Because there's a whole thing where Cornette, one of Cornette's legendary things, if you come out of the box, you get over. So there's a big present in a box
This is like
for the Undertaker.
makes me angry.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the box pops Chris Kanyon dressed as Boy George singing "Do You Really Want to Hurt Me?"
It's like, why?
Because somebody found out backstage that he was gay, and let's make fun of him for it.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And Undertaker literally waffled him. I think he gave him a concussion on that thing.
Yeah,
He
like legit punched him in the face.
yeah. Did you see what Miro was saying about the Undertaker?
Mm.
Like Undertaker's like, yeah, locker rooms ain't what they used to be or something. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry, we're not all doing drugs and shooting guns at each other or something
like
like
in the
that.
80s.
Yeah. Like in the 80s.
Yeah. Locker rooms now are soft because they play video games.
Then they go back to their hotel and they don't drink all night.
Yeah.
Well, that's being responsible.
Yeah, it's like we're not getting drunk, carrying guns and doing drugs all night or something like that. Yeah.
More old school saying the new school sucks because it's not me anymore.
And so
I paved the way so I can tear it up so you can't drive on it again. So what
Yeah.
a lot of old school people want to do.
pretty much, yeah. That's our entire country right
Yeah, I was
now.
about to say that's not just wrestling.
So he dealt with injuries. He wrestled for the most of his time there on Velocity. They brought back Mortis toward the end on some house shows, never on TV. But he was cut in 2004. Later that year, he does come out of the closet. He is publicly now saying he's a gay man.
And
And
some Howard and kind of
that was 06,
make
yeah.
a dick out of him.
He accused WWE firing him for being gay. I don't know if that's the only reason. Not to be unfair, but I do think they just felt he had probably run his course.
Yeah.
That and,
Injury
and
prone.
his mental health probably
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he wasn't easy to deal with, but someone on mental health issues can be very difficult to deal with if you don't know, especially at that time where it wasn't very treated right.
No.
And as a man in that time, you weren't allowed to have weakness of a mental health
Correct.
problem. So
Yeah.
just fucking suck it up and do your job.
And then in 2000, he said around 2002, 2003, he did pitch a gimmick where he'd just be a gay wrestler, but not like, because at this point there have been wrestlers where there were gay overtones, but always like
It wasn't the forefront of his character.
Well, no. It was in some cases, but it was like he was a heel because he was a heel because he was
yeah.
gay.
It was always looked at.
Or he was a
That-
coward. He was a quote unquote sissy.
Yeah.
Because he was gay. Or it was like, oh my God, look, that guy's gay. Oh, he's actually tough. Wow, that's surprising because he looks gay.
Yeah.
Where now I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. What are you going to do about it?
Paro.
Yeah, Paro. Yeah.
Paro, yeah.
Yeah, Paro is the guy who sells mysteries.
Yeah,
little belty
Paro.
guy.
Paro. You look at him, you're like, he looks like Andre the Giant Burt Kreischer.
Oh,
Yeah.
He looks like
The
Burt
twink hunter.
Kreischer, who
Yeah, the
was
twink
literally like 6 something.
Is he in MLW?
No,
he
he
was in the very beginning. Now he's
Yeah.
in like NWA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
He's part of a
just-
tag
Yeah,
team
that's
called.
right. Yeah,
he's part of a tag team
yeah,
called
I know,
The
he's real
End.
big. He's
He's
bearded,
huge. Yeah.
short black hair.
He's awesome. He does death matches and shit. He's fucking crazy.
And then so he does get let go. In August, he loses a match to DDP in Wayne, New Jersey, where the band name Fountains of Wayne comes from. There's a business there called Fountains of Wayne. And that was dubbed as Canyon's retirement match. Later that year, he was arrested in Ybor City, Florida for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest without violence. He claimed he was breaking up a fight, and the case was later thrown out without incident. He was also part of a lawsuit with Raven and Mike Sanders, who barely worked in WWE, Mike Sanders.
Yeah.
But he was in developmental for a bit when WCW was bought out. They accused WWE of cheating them out of their health care and other benefits. They're correct.
Yeah.
And the classification of their independent contractors was kind of the foundation of the lawsuit. But the case was thrown out because when you're rich and powerful, you can do whatever the fuck you want in the United States of America.
You pay for good lawyers.
Mike Sanders, though, one of the best surnames. Above average, Mike Sanders.
And his finishing move was called the 3.0. Because that's like an above average.
We have above average Joe Scott around our area.
Do we?
Yeah, there's an indie wrestler above average Joe Scott. He wrestled at the Sanctuary.
Really?
Oh, I don't remember him.
Yeah. I don't know. Wow. He's still in his gimmick, but I mean, it's 20 years later.
I want to be a bad wrestler called my new commentary name is going to be below average.
Below
average BP Burke.
Yeah, I love it.
So if he does good, you're like, hey, he was not that bad.
He's not that bad.
Yeah.
Under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
My motto.
That's fuck, man. He stole it. I should have thought of that earlier.
So he does come back. Kanyon does come back in 2005 for some indie dates. He wrestled one match in TNA against Raven as Chris K, K-A-Y.
Ooh.
And he did a few benefit matches after Katrina to raise money for victims of Hurricane Katrina. In 2006, he does infamously appear on Howard Stern, accusing WWE again of firing him due to his sexuality. And that's when Ric Flair calls him. This was a big part of the Dark Side of the Ring to say. And Chris Kanyon idolized Ric Flair. Like, Ric Flair was a god. And Ric Flair's like, you got fired because you weren't good enough. And just crushed him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kanyon does open up later on about his issues with mental illness. He was on CNN after the whole Chris Benoit thing happened, talking about a time in 2003 when he attempted suicide by taking 50 sleeping pills. And he did admit, like, being in the closet, largely because I thought coming out would hurt my career, made things even worse. And he didn't wrestle between October 2006 and November 2009. He only wrestled a few times thereafter. His last match was for NYWC in Long Island. He won a handicap match over a local tag team. But then a few months later in 2009, or I think it was in 2010 rather, his brother Ken grew word he wasn't hearing back from him, visits his apartment and finds Chris Kanyon dead with bottles of antidepressants around him. He's on something called Seroquel, which is like an antipsychotic medication. They also found a note and basically just apologized to his family. And he was only 40. Sucks.
yeah.
Only 40
Fucking
years
sucks.
old.
Even like he was struggling with his mental health, he was still trying to do so much to help other people too. Like he was doing benefit shows.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like even the dark side, like you could like some of the like talent in the NYWC area, he was like, I'll put you over. Like let me go out there, let me work with you, I'll put you over. Like there was a match, he's like, no man, like, I forget who the talent was,
Yeah, I don't remember either. But it's a local guy.
but it was like a guy like, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go out there and wrestle Chris Kanyon. He's like, no, you're gonna wrestle Chris Kanyon, but you're gonna beat Chris Kanyon. And he's
Mhm.
like, I can't do that. He goes, you're gonna fucking beat me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
I always love stories like that. And I'm sure he wouldn't mind us talking out of school like this. I know we talked about the Sanctuary earlier. John Trotsky,
Mhm.
the impresario there, the Grand Poobah over at the Sanctuary, talked about Bob Backlund did that for, like, you're going to win tonight, kid.
Yeah.
When he was wrestling Bob Backlund.
Yeah, anytime a name comes into a locker room, rather if they've been world champion or if they just had time on TV, if they're willing to let you get a little bit of a high in front of your hometown crowd, it feels good.
It's the opposite of WWE, where if you're coming home, you're losing.
Yeah, because think about the heat.
Except for
Think
Buddy.
about the heat.
Huh?
Except for Buddy.
Yeah.
Winning the title in Australia.
Oh yeah, the cruiserweight title. Vince
Didn't,
that
uh,
cruiserweight title.
Vince don't even know that belt exists.
Didn't Kanyon also train wrestlers for a bit? Like, wasn't there a whole part of that where he was like one of the guys who helped the Young Bucks? I don't know if he trained.
He
them
may have like been a guy that
exclusively.
they leaned on a little
I know
bit.
they were
Yeah.
leaning on him
Yeah.
and they were talking to him during his like mental health breakdowns
Yeah.
and stuff too. 'cause
Yeah.
They were they
They
were
were
But he
close.
never had like a school or anything like
No.
that.
He would have been a great trainer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
especially with having a physical therapy background.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, if you go back watch his matches, he was a
Yeah.
good wrestler. Like
He was very innovative. He had a great
Yeah.
mind for things. He was very creative. He would have been great at that. He could probably would have probably been great creatively too. At least
Like
like an agent laying out.
yeah,
matches.
like if he didn't have this thing of being a WCW guy, He would have done
Yeah.
much better in WWE. Like he was never in WCW, just went there to be like as indie guy. Then he would have.
The only people who were really able to shed that WCW guy
Booker T.
thing were like Booker T and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And Ray, they got Vince had to get dragged kicking and screaming for Ray
Yeah.
and Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
Yes, Benoit, but they,
Eddie was,
they
like,
jumped.
talent.
They
They
jumped.
jumped. I
Yeah,
was
that's
just going
true.
to say that
Yeah.
they
So
jumped.
they left.
Booker T and Eddie Guerrero and Jericho. Yeah, but they all jumped. Booker T and Eddie Guerrero or Booker T and Ray came over after the
Yeah,
fact.
so it's
the
like, oh, we
purchase.
stole them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's okay.
We acquired
Push
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We acquired them for less than the price that we used to pay off our employees that were
Yeah.
sexually exploiting.
You're not wrong.
Oh, boy. And for WCW itself.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry, all that money that we have lying around, we'll sign a guy part time because he has a good social media
Yeah.
following.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at, and that's not me hating on Jake Paul. Get your money, my guy.
Logan.
Logan, Jake, whatever fucking Paul brother.
Yeah, but you could see where a wrestler would be upset. Like,
Sure.
especially in the
Yeah.
back. I'm getting paid this, and this guy's fucking coming in and doing 2 shows.
Yeah.
And getting
Or
millions.
I was fired from my dream job,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
just here busting my fucking ass.
And here comes this jerk off. Although
Yeah.
he does have.
Bet Jericho's going to sell tickets though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does have a character and charisma, but still, I mean, I can understand why someone would think.
Sure. I like I said, I think I personally have a beef or a problem with any of the Pauls. Like they're out there hustling, grinding, making content. They're getting themselves out there. They're one of the biggest faces in the fucking country, in the world. So yeah, when you get that popular, you can walk into places and get
Wait.
big fucking contracts.
What, do we think they're going to tarnish the good name of WWE?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
said, like they're not
It's
gonna.
a legitimately evil company.
Yeah.
Logan Paul is the least of their worries.
Even if it wasn't WWE, if any company, when you work that hard and you get fucking enough attention on yourself, you go walk in anywhere and be like, yeah, you want to use my likeness? Yeah, you're paying me for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's
It's good business.
yeah, they're fucking killing it. Like Pat McAfee. Like, oh, you want me? Like, yeah, you're not gonna own anything I do, but you can. I'll come and work for you.
Yeah, and Pat McAfee's a good commentator, though.
And both guys clearly dedicated, like have a wrestling mindset.
But what I'm saying is they didn't come in and then go through WWE to get famous.
Right.
Yeah. They're actually helping WWE by joining there. You know what I mean?
right,
Like,
but you can look at that one of two ways. Like you could say that name to me, and I would be like, "Who? What? I don't
I
care."
didn't know who he was
Didn't give
until
a
he was
shit.
on what
I mean, but
SummerSlam.
and there are regular wrestling fans out there, like probably half the AEW universe or galaxy, is what we want to say. They're not going to give a shit about Logan Paul.
Well, right.
But the WWE mindset is, let's not just cater to wrestling fans. Let's
Yeah.
cater to everybody.
I mean, they've been doing that forever.
Yeah, I mean, not forever.
Since WrestleMania 1.
yeah,
You
Cindy
think?
Lauper.
Yeah, they've always had fucking celebrities.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, celebrities, but he's going to be more of a
He's a celebrity.
Yeah, but Cindy Lauper wasn't there as much as Logan Paul is right now.
Yeah, but it's a different time.
She came in once in a while, slapped Lou Arbat.
that was to do
Albano.
the rock and wrestling they called it.
Yeah.
No, but again,
show.
different time periods. Now
Yeah.
celebrities.
Would you
seen,
want to get Betty White to come in and slap somebody, or would you rather a guy that can actually put on a legit match and go in there and work?
If
work their
they can
talent?
get a dead woman to slap somebody,
I'm
they're going to get big ratings.
using examples.
They
of when she
really
was
are
alive,
evil.
but-
They
Well,
are
they
evil.
really are.
and
No, I agree.
they really are evil.
The
and they're using
celebrity
the
guest
Book of the
manager
Damned.
thing was like, okay, enough.
Oh, the
Oh,
host.
because we've
GM.
been so conditioned that a celebrity comes in and gets beat up and then leaves, but now we're getting celebrities like your Pat and your Logan Paul.
Your
Like,
Bad
oh,
Bunny.
they can actually work. This
Yeah.
is cool.
Well, a lot of them came in and were, got
like
over.
Drew,
Like, what's his
Carey
name?
got smacked around.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's the growth. Like WWE looks to like if you look at their announce table, it started out as just like the American and like the Spanish, and then it was the American and the Spanish, and then they have a dedicated part of their programming, their pay-per-view programming, to all of their national broadcasting teams. So it's the same with celebrities. If you're going to bring them in, you might as well start using them in bigger feuds.
It's I don't know. Maybe I'm not wording it right. I'm just saying the hardcore fan's not really going to give a shit about the hardcore
Oh,
wrestling
no.
fan is
No.
not going to give a shit about Logan Paul.
But like the mainstream
We're going to
audience.
give more of a shit about FTR, about
Yeah.
Cesaro or
The-
Claudio.
The WWE
Logan Paul
WWE audience.
the Logan Paul move is not to appease a hardcore fan. It's
No.
to woo in a casual fan.
Yeah.
in other
That's
words.
trying to
that's
get
exactly what I'm
kids
trying to
and-
say.
yeah.
But I will say
They're
you're
catering
hard.
toward that casual
Kid,
fan.
like the
Yeah.
the boxing fans who know he's been the biggest draw in boxing in the last 10 years.
I think the WWE fans, like the diehard WWE fans, love the fact that Jake Paul's coming there.
Logan
Uh,
Paul.
Logan Paul, sorry.
Well, no, or if they don't, they want to see someone kick his ass.
Above average Logan Paul.
I would think they'd probably be indecisive and be like, oh, okay.
For everything I see, like the diehard ones that like you said, like, oh fucking who cares about
Yeah.
Claudio?
like
they're
Cloud Chaser.
yeah, they're all
Sometimes
about
They would be like, well, he's coming into our world, even though he did pretty well with that tag match. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
I think
fine,
he's
yeah.
earned a lot of their, like the diehards in that company. I think he earned a lot of the respect at Mania. Same with Bad Bunny. When Bad Bunny came back after that match, people they didn't boo him. They were like, "Oh, cool,
Well,
Bad
if you
Bunny's
come
here."
in and show respect and work
Yeah.
at it, they're going to
Mhm.
respect you.
Yeah, and that's what Paul did. He did. He had a decent match.
That's
Yeah.
all you have to do. Like,
Yeah.
it's not hard.
I mean, I'm just saying, me as a fan, he's not going to draw me in as if you were to pay when Cesaro was there and put Cesaro in a nicer repertoire than what he was.
Sure. Yeah.
That would have drew
They're-
me
they're
in
trying to
more
get the
than
kids
this
that watch the
Logan
YouTube
Paul.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're trying to
But
get
that's all it
that
is.
works.
They're trying to get the YouTube kids. They're trying to get the
Yeah,
people who like
that-
this boxing stuff.
Like the
There's an
Bad Bunny
audience
thing.
there.
That got the people to watch the Bad Bunny match, and then they left as soon as he was gone.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, you got a bump, but you didn't get. It's like a Band-Aid.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's
It's a
what happens.
Band-Aid that falls off.
Yeah.
That's what happens a lot, even in combat sports. That when people watch like they go to a boxing match or they go to a UFC fight, they don't show up until like most of the crowd isn't there until co-main event.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about the rest of the card. Like the people who spend thousands of dollars for the front row,
Yeah.
that arena doesn't fill up until like 3 or 4 fights before the
boy.
main event. Yeah,
That's crazy. It's like if you spend the money, like, what do you want
like
to enjoy? all of
prelim
it?
fights, prelim fights, or like
Well, when
first.
you have that kind of money to blow, I
Yeah,
guess it
yeah.
doesn't
Here's
matter.
what
An
it was.
appearance,
This is
yeah.
old school pro wrestling as clear as day. You know why they spent all that money? Because they wanted to see Logan Paul get his ass kicked.
Yep.
And he didn't do it, so they spent money to do it. See him do it again.
But I think now
It was textbook pro wrestling.
this time around, they're actually rooting for Logan Paul to probably beat the Miz because they hate the Miz.
I don't know. I would have him be heel. Just this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, he's just the heel. I don't know.
Well, he's going in as the babyface.
Yeah, I guess they put him against the Miz. I mean,
There's only one
Didn't
time
they
I've
say
seen.
like he had a thing where he had to turn baby?
Yeah, I think he did. They
He
said he
wanted to be
did.
a baby face.
Who?
well,
Logan
let's
Paul.
try
Yeah.
it. Let's see if we can do it.
That
All
seems to be a thing with the people that are like coming out like from other things. Like they just want to be like Rhonda.
Yeah, they want
Yeah,
to be loved.
I want to be beloved. They can't be booed.
Yeah,
No,
and then they
please
get
don't.
booed. They can't handle it.
I don't think he minds being booed. I think he,
He would.
No,
yeah.
the Paul
I
brothers are natural like
heels.
shitsters.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Jake Paul was on, I think like a Sunday morning football kind of deal, or no, it was the playoffs. It was the NHL playoffs or the NBA playoffs, and he was just had the whole crowd booing him just from speaking.
Yeah.
It's just a natural heat generator.
Mhm.
And again, like you said, he's talented.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
No, that's all we have.
Any plugs?
Jeez, I have no shows coming up this weekend or next week. It's very busy at work, so I didn't take it. I don't even know of any shows going on. Really.
There's a show tomorrow for free somewhere. Or is
Oh,
it
that's CCW one. I think it was tonight.
tonight or tomorrow. I
you
thought
know-
it was Friday.
I know they usually do a block or not a block party, but like a carnival. They do a couple nights.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I don't know anything about it. So I don't listen to our shows on the podcast. How about that?
There
On
you
the
go.
network. The network.
Yeah.
The podcast on the network. We did Gettysburg, and somebody shared it. A page. Ghost Stories from the South. Did you see that?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
I didn't see
They somehow they found it and listened to it. So and they shared it. So thank
Hey,
you.
listen to
Ghost
our
Stories for that.
podcast.
They had to because they shared the Gettysburg one.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, here's a quick news.
And
Happy
they start following us too. Sorry, Brian.
happy 78th birthday, Terry Funk.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Oh goddamn.
Austin.
Still just the sanctuary. Going to be heading there this Saturday for an early training instead of the normal 4 to 6. So looking forward to that.
And that's about to go weekly now.
Yes, and also a shout out to Hannah because today is our 2-year anniversary.
Aw,
Oh, wow.
how about
Yeah.
I was gonna
that?
say, who the hell is Hannah? And then I was like, oh,
Context clues.
pronouns, pal. Even though you did use
Brian.
Project219.com is where you can find Murder My Dude. We're in between shows this week, but we do have something planned for next Friday at midnight. So usually it's a little bit after the show ends. Given the recent events in the United States, we're talking about Eric Robert Rudolph next episode. He was the guy who set off the bomb at the Olympics and also was a terrorist that bombed abortion clinics as well
Oh,
Oh,
God.
okay.
and gay nightclubs.
Yeah.
Jesus.
The McMahon's kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might be wrestling Logan
Yeah.
Paul. on
Well, he's in jail.
Raw.
He's in jail now.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Vince was trying to book him as a babyface. Kelly.
Did you know the man that perfected the abortion was from Ashland?
I did not.
Dr. Spencer. Very well-known doctor from our area. There's a whole book on him called The Angel of Ashland that had, in his time, he was well known for it and he kind of perfected it. He only lost like 3 or 4 ladies in his time.
Oh,
that was
wow.
like the 50s and 40s, I think.
Whoa.
That's
He was
awesome.
he was well before his time. I mean, he was a really good doctor too. A lot of different stories about him. Anyway, sorry, my plugs are going to drill down into the other two boys here. First plug would be wrestling related. Go to the Sanctuary and watch the second episode of Sanctuary Proving Grounds
Is that
just
on
happened.
Facebook?
It's on
I think YouTube.
Okay.
They got
So-
off of Facebook.
Yeah, so YouTube, if you go on YouTube and search Sanctuary, I can imagine.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's season 2, episode 1 is
Season-
Sanctuary
Yep.
PATV or something like that.
Yeah, and then Proving Grounds episode 2, I think it is. So go ahead and check that out, and check out Ghosts of Gettysburg, our latest Truth Behind the Illusion podcast, where we were talking all about the different ghosts of Gettysburg, because this week is the anniversary of Gettysburg.
Mhm.
It happened the 1st or the 3rd of 1863.
Yep, you're exactly right, Kelly. It is Sanctuary PATV is the YouTube channel. The latest episode is the Sanctuary Proving Ground season 2, episode 1.
Yep, Andy
Which-
has a
I was
match
gonna
in
say,
it.
I'll be in action against Ricky Price there.
Yep. And
Very nice to
Austin
be Ricky
was
Price.
Yeah.
Very
Austin
nice.
was running the camera.
Yeah. Shout
and
out to my boy Crispy for having his first and second match. Very proud
Yeah.
of him.
our
And his final match, because I think Tyrant killed him.
Yeah.
It's
think,
fine.
think he's in
second last.
think he's in ICU now.
Oh, I know Vincent came out of that match a little banged up. He took a spot into the corner.
Oh,
hit
yeah,
his
that
head
was
off of
beautiful.
both
They beat them up
turnbuckles.
for like 10 minutes straight. I was like, these kids are still getting
I got
beat
some
up.
great pictures of them throwing them
just
around.
Yeah.
after they just wrestled like 6 or
I
7
felt bad
minutes.
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Brian and Tony are both on commentary, and I'm wandering around taking pictures.
There you
So
go. So see us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first. I think it's a first time the entire crew was
Yeah.
at a wrestling show together.
Had like 4 of
Oh,
us
yeah.
together a few times. We had never all 5.
mhm.
Yeah, we completed it. The wouldn't be the Trinity anymore. Whatever the
We
fucking-
assumed Voltron.
Yeah,
we
we-
assembled
the group,
Voltron.
we assembled the Tornado Tag Podcast robot.
Power Rangers for younger kids.
Yeah, if you made it this far,
But
please help us out by
not that
following
young.
us on all social media.
Power Rangers if you're 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm 30.
I was saying it's not that young.
Leave a review if you're listening on audio. It helps us out tremendously. Or share.
Again, a specific review for this episode. Who better than Tornado Tag Podcast?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yep.
That's the review we want. for
Certainly
this
not
episode.
Bruce. He can't do his podcast. Ah.
What?
He has no time, Bruce Pritchard.
Oh, no time.
Yeah.
Nope.
So
Get it.
they keep doing replays and greatest hits.
Yep.
We're not. Yeah. What a shame.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Check that out. Also, like I said, the merchandise, Patreon, our tip jar in our links below. We will be seeing you guys soon. We do have a lot of cool things that we have coming up next week, Brian.
Next week we're hopping in a time machine. We're going to look at Great American Bash 1989.
Mhm.
One of the greatest NWA/WCW pay-per-views of all time.
We'll be joined by Ryan Vox from Outbreak Wrestling. All next month is going to be a huge emphasis on the Legends of Hamburg Fieldhouse tour and the Outbreak show. We're going to be covering a lot of people who you
Two
can,
shows.
yeah,
Yeah,
where you're going to be
Mark.
meeting a lot of
Yeah.
people that are be at that event. So we'll be covering like really fun gimmicks. We'll be covering Booker T. We have a lot of cool things we're going to go over
Mhm.
for that show. And then very soon we're going to be covering and diving a lot more into IWTV stuff. There is a certain Chikara paper or show or pay-per-view
It
or
definitely wasn't a
independent show.
pay-per-view.
Yeah,
It's
they have
Yeah.
to say any paper
I don't know what the like technical
Show.
It was an independent show
show.
that happened at Goodfellas in Pottsville that we are going to be watching and reviewing. I don't know the exact name of the.
I'm pulling it up now. They always had like weird names.
Yeah.
For the show. It was called A World of Comforting Illusion.
So
See Delirious going to the Schuylkill River.
yes, so yeah. So Brian, just to rehash my depression that I wasn't there.
Oh
that night,
yeah, so you were
give
like,
us a rundown. Who's on this card?
so we do have in the opening match the throwbacks, which is Dasher Hatfield still wearing his mask,
Yeah,
and Sugar Dunkerton, who you may remember
Hot
is
dog.
either Shug D or Pineapple
Pete. Pineapple Pete.
and AEW against the Unstable Stigma and
Vin Gerard.
it has nothing to do with IWTV whatsoever.
Nope.
Yo, he,
No connection.
he's not killing the game.
Stan Malibu.
So your second match is Green Ant, who at this point I believe may have enjoyed some hot sauce every now and then, against the guy you may have heard of named Brody Lee.
It hurts my heart that I didn't. I only have seen him live
Well, you
once.
didn't know,
it was
you
in
know?
Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was the IC champion. I got to see him as
okay.
IC
There you go.
champion. Yeah.
You had Hollowicked and Frightmare, some mainstays of Chikara,
Mhm.
against Daisy Hayes, who was a longtime Ring of Honor trainer, and the current assistant head coach at the WWE Performance Center, Sarah Del Rey.
Mhm.
You also had, I'm jumping ahead of the card here, the Order of the Neo Solar Temple, which would have included Ultra Menace Black against the Colony, I wonder which colony members were
At that time, it was probably fire, worker, and soldier. but-
fire ant. You say?
Yes, but worker and not the first one. Not the second. So
Yeah. So fire ant.
none of them ever went on to do
that
anything.
show. Yeah. Who's that guy?
Soldier ant didn't go on to do anything.
Yeah. Who's that guy?
Sadly, he's
Well,
not.
yeah,
doing
he's
it
really
now.
not doing
Yeah,
anything.
Yeah.
He was doing stuff, but then
yeah.
they canceled the
He
cruiserweight
was
stuff.
pointing with power.
I love that. I'm trying to pull up the exact card to see who the ants were. It would have been,
Maybe pink ant.
it was fire and soldier. So
Arm soldier.
it was those two guys. Yes,
Yeah, two guys that are on. You would know if
Yeah.
they took their masks off.
against Ultramanus Black and Delirious
Mhm.
for the Campeonatos de Parejas, the colony of the champions going into this match. And then you had the BDK of Lince Dorado, who will be at PPW in July.
Mm-hmm.
Pinky Sanchez, Tim Donst, and Tersus against Mike Quackenbush, Jigsaw, Helios.
You know Helios.
I wonder who that guy
Yeah.
could be.
Who's Helios?
He may be Intercontinental Champion recently.
Oh, Ricochet.
Yeah.
And Equinox.
Didn't Ricochet wrestle?
Equinox.
Didn't Ricochet wrestle in Barnesville?
Equinox 2.
Oh yeah.
Right, he
Jimmy
wrestled for
Olsen.
Chikara at a Barnesville
Yeah,
show,
Barnesville Thunderdome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's there. Claudio was there.
Yeah.
Well, it couldn't have been Equinox 1
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Equinox 1 was in the first match.
Yeah, because Equinox still have
Yeah,
mask,
Claudio-
and that was Vin Gerard.
Claudio made his rounds around our area between
Yeah.
Pine Grove,
Claudio-
Barnesville.
Chikara.
Used to live in Reading.
We found out that Chikara ran a show in Palo Alto. Yeah.
What?
In the Citizens Fire Company, Palo Alto, there's a Chikara show on IWTV.
Yeah, one of their early I don't think so.
Oh yeah, because back in the day when FWA used to run there, or Future Wrestling Alliance, Quack wrestled for them. That's like mid '90s.
Yeah.
And then you also had
It's insane how many people that are on wrestling television right now have wrestled in this School County. We have
Backyard.
and we don't even have there's not even a promotion in School County right now. Like no one runs in School County.
you also have Eddie Kingston and Grant Akuma
Yeah.
who's on the show.
Eddie Kingston. Just,
And then we
Heck,
have
Goodfellas.
a 4-way match with the Bad Boys, Brad and Chad, who you may know better now as 2.0. No Glad though, no Glad.
Glad.
You would know him especially.
Glad's
Tony.
amazing.
They-
You might have
did-
spent half a year in a car with Glad this
They
weekend.
did have a match where they were all together.
That was in what was that called?
Interspecies
Interspecies,
Wrestling,
yeah.
which is also on IWTV.
That's all. Yes, it is.
And they're in a 4-way with the Super Smash Brothers, Player Uno, now Evil Uno, and Player Dos, who was Stu Grayson.
Mhm.
The Osirian Portal, Ophidian and Amasis, who we know better as Deshaun Pratt,
And
former
no
guest
one.
of the show. And Ophidian does not exist anymore.
He's been deleted.
And then the team representing the BDK, which is a big stable back then, which was Aries and Claudio Castagnoli,
Yeah.
currently
Just
surviving.
in Goodfellas.
Brutus Shaft, the Crisis.
If anything, that should teach you. Go support
Yes.
your local indie wrestler.
Yeah, you never
Yeah.
know who's
Hey,
gonna.
You never know who's going to make it
I
up.
have performed at Goodfellas.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying there's
There
a
you go.
chance there.
And I peed in their bathroom. And Brody Lee was there. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, remember that time fuck Brett Michaels. Remember the time Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston,
How-
Claudio, and Brody
This is
Lee
going to
were in
sound
the building?
terrible. But what's that old saying? You never get where they piss last. You might have got where Brody Lee pissed last.
I think
No.
he pissed between then
Well,
and
yeah, he pissed a
2020.
lot
Yeah.
more of them than intended.
I hope.
Otherwise, we got some other questions.
Yeah, but we're gonna cover that show. It may not happen on like Thursdays. We might have like some pop-up shows where we just review old IWEP,
IWTV.
IWET,
We
yeah,
review our own shows.
whatever. fucking-
That was great.
Just do it. There's less- yes, that.
TV.
Yeah. So it's subscribed to that. It's really really good. I just started watching the Life
Subscribe to both
of
of them.
yeah the Life of series where they literally hand an independent talent a GoPro.
Oh, okay.
And just say film your life for a couple months and then send it back to us and we'll make a documentary out of it. And it's the Willow Nightingale documentary. And boy, is it awesome. Like, so here's just like the last take is like she's been doing it a long time and like maybe 3 or 4 years into her career, she breaks her neck, fights back and
That
gets back
sucks.
into the business and wrestles again.
Wow.
She trained out of WNYC, like where
NYWC.
NYWC, where like Brian Myers,
Yeah.
fucking
Cardona.
Pat
Cardona,
Okay, I was gonna say.
Mikey
Hungy-
Whipwreck School.
Hungy came out of there. A whole bunch of like really good talent came out of there, and that's where she came out of. And then like towards the end, she's like, "Yo, man, like I'm trying hard and like I'm working and I'm getting extra work and I'm doing all this stuff here." And it's just like, well, what am I missing that I'm not
Mhm.
getting picked, you know? And she's like, I'm at that point where it's like, I'm like, she goes, anyone that creates or is a wrestler or doing anything, you have a big block of motivation and inspiration. every year it doesn't get where your goals are. You just get a little chipped off and a little bit chipped off. And she's like, I'm at that point where it's like, I'm not fully chipped away, but it's getting there. Like, I'm like, how much more can I keep going here? Like, and she's like, but I'm trying to stay positive. And anyone who supported me this whole time, thank you. Like, it was a really cool, like, she really opened up, and then she talked about her relationship with her and Rex and how they're so far away from Rex Lawless.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah. And how they rarely see each other, but they're just chasing their dreams. But it's really, really cool. There's one of her, Leah Moriarty's on there. Alex Shelley did one.
Funny, you were just talking about NYWC. That was where Chris Kanyon had his last match.
Really? Edith Surreal has one on there that's fantastic. Avery Good is on there.
We got to actually meet the person who produced the Thread TV at the.
Do you remember his name?
I do not, unfortunately. At Avery Good's last show, we were standing outside waiting to get in the brewery for like a half hour talking to him.
Yeah,
and he does a phenomenal job.
I'm so bummed I don't know your name, and we met you, and your work is fantastic. If anyone from IWTV is listening, or if we clip this and put it, please do not stop making those, because I think they're super special, and I love watching wrestling, but I think that's a really cool takeaway that I think more fans should definitely look into and see the life of an independent wrestler.
I believe it may be Andrew Hearns.
Okay.
Guy's name, yeah.
It's not many people know it. Like, a lot of people think, like, I had a conversation, they're like, independent, they thought independent wrestlers get paid like a couple $100 per show.
Yeah, I get paid really well.
It's
no.
no.
It's just like being an independent artist in any form of art.
Yeah, except you're risking breaking a limb or your body or paralyzing yourself every time you do it.
Yeah, whereas like music, it's, I might hurt my finger, I might maybe hurt my toe. If I'm painting, I don't know how much injury could go into that. Maybe
like a paint your eye.
Yeah,
it's tough, man. It's tough, but it's a really cool documentary series. Go watch it. And like I said, there's tons of.
And they have that masked wrestlers on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool content. And like I said, if there's a show that you guys are, if there's a promotion that's around your area and it's on IWTV, please tell us your favorite show or a show you went to, and we'll watch it and we'll cover it. We'll do like a cover thing. Like, maybe it'll probably be like remote, where like I do like a live stream on YouTube and like somebody joins in via just remote, so I don't have to make everybody drive here. But we'll make more content and review independent shows. I think that's something we should definitely dive into more, because I don't think it gets enough love. But yeah, and then interviews are coming back at the end of July, and I'm going to I'm kind of announcing it here for the first time, but I'm starting a vlog, and it's kind of going to be like because I don't get a lot, and I'm not trying to sound like everyone's clamoring for my takes on commentary, but I am still new to the game, and I do have a lot of cool experiences, and I do go through a lot of different things that maybe people can help me on, or things I just want to get off my chest, like getting ready for a show and just kind of vlogging my day from the time I start getting ready for the show to the drive to the show, while we're at the show, on the way home from the show, and just kind of break down my experience of commentary, what I think I did good, what I think I did bad, people I've met, my anxiety thinking I'm doing a terrible job, like all that great stuff. But I'm going to try it out. It's very scary for me to do a vlog, because it's very personal, and you have to like kind of talk to yourself into a camera, and it's like it's a weird mental barrier.
Editing too, I would assume.
Yeah, and it's a weird mental barrier that you kind of have to get over, I think, where you have to like kind of put your ego at check a little bit. But I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do my best. I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I never really watch vlog content, so if I'm doing good or bad, I'll let you know right away. But I want to make more content for the channel, and a lot of us are really, really blessed with opportunities to not just be fans and go to wrestling and experience it, but we're behind the curtains and we're meeting people, and we're getting a lot of experiences that people don't get in the business. And I think we should capitalize on it and be grateful for where we are, because not everyone's there.
Yeah. I mean, I was really grateful to be there and I sound like a freaking brown noser here, but to be there on Sunday and taking pictures and being that close to the action is definitely a thrill for me. So
yeah, for me,
that's kind of geeky.
That's my first time ever being on the other side of a wrestling performance. So that is a precious moment that will stay with me forever.
How far away are we from seeing your vlog, from seeing your training and stuff going?
As soon as I can update my laptop, that's literally the only thing that's holding me
We've been
back.
having some tech problems, so
clearly.
But thank you guys so much for the support, and just another quick shout out here and thing I didn't get a chance to because we were talking, but Arkham Prince, another TikToker, go follow him. He's really, really cool people. I was live with him the other day. I call him Arkham Gage because he has like a really cool accent and he has like tattoos all over his face. He's pretty dope. But go follow him on TikTok. Cool dude. And Jeff also in the chat talking the Miz. We didn't get a chance to it. But thank you guys so much. If you're still watching, leave a cool review and let us know what you thought of the show. If you're listening to this back or in replay form, also leave us a cool review, take a screenshot like we said before, and tell us what you thought of the episode. We'll be seeing you next time, and with Ryan Vox as our guest as we break down an old school match, and we'll see you next week.
I think so. Well,